Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
The Ariel Helwani Show is back in your life on this Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. Great to be back on another dreary Wednesday here. What is up with the weather? We had a great stretch, 2 months, beautiful, and now all of a sudden, dreariness.
And what's crazy, it's not even cold.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful in terms of the temperature, but it's just, you can't even see it. You can't even see the beautiful Empire State. We do have, of course, Lady Liberty representing right over there. There she is, Lady Liberty. Yeah.
How fitting that she's behind the Money in the Bank.
Wow.
Is to say, if you want liberty, bring the money in the bank.
I'm offended. As a Canadian/American, dating back to March of 2023, I am offended. By the way, we never really discussed this when we were talking about UFC 310. What about Weidman changing his walkout song?
Wait, he did change it?
That was one of the great controversies of the night. I forgot to mention it once. I didn't mention it on Twitter.
Don't back down? What did he... Do you know
No, it's actually won't back down. No, I won't back down.
Is it teeth or is it...
And he, you know what he came out to? Was it I'm proud to be an American? One of those. I'm proud to be an American. It just doesn't hit the same. I mean, lovely song, and I get the, the patriotism and all that, but it just doesn't hit the same before a big fight. Do you not agree, Frank?
I agree, but they didn't make you sing that when you got your citizenship?
Absolutely not. Oh. I refuse. I was sitting down, clutching onto my Canadian flag. I'm kidding.
Crying.
Don't take it away from me. Don't take it away. I'm just joking. Great to be here on a lovely Wednesday. And off the bat, I do have to address the elephant in the room. I do have to address the controversy that everyone has been talking about and everyone has been asking me about, trying to get my take on it. And I figured we'd just talk about it on the show here today. Major development, major story over the past 24 hours. And that, of course, is the Yahoo holiday party, which is going down tonight. There's been a lot of consternation, a lot of back and forth as to who's attending, who's not. And a lot of people have been asking me about this. So I just wanted to get a quick roll call. It's a big party. My wife was telling me this morning she's never been to a corporate holiday party. I certainly was excited about it, but there appears to be some people who don't want to attend for some reason. And I don't know. I sort of feel like we're the new kids on the block here in the office, and I think we should all attend together as one to show sort of unity and support for what we're building together here as partners. And so just could we just do like a quick roll call?
Yeah, I'm not going.
Oh, me?
Also, I'm with your wife. I've always wanted to go to a holiday party,
and
it's
I feel like you're like
dream of mine.
You're like top of the list of people who I would have expected to want to go.
When they sent out the invitation, I was just like, "Holy shit, holiday party! I'm in." I RSVP'd that day. Everyone else was like, "Meh." I was like, "We have to go." As some of you know, started a book club at my apartment. It's the night.
Wait, why would you laugh at him?
I read the book and everything.
And is the book club, do you guys meet in the apartment or is it like in a common room?
Are you asking whether it's in my actual apartment?
In your actual unit?
No. God,
okay.
No. It's a nice, as they say, luxury apartment. There's a big open common space. The apartment provides like food and wine and beer and
so it's like a holiday party in itself.
Well, no, then my apartment has its own holiday party next week.
Oh, are you attending that one?
I will be at that one.
Wow, okay.
I actually RSVP'd to this one that I would be at it. And unfortunately,
I wouldn't be
I
so
got the
proud
Uber voucher and everything. They're looking out for us. They're doing it big here.
Wow.
Yeah, Uber voucher if you drink, don't drive, get home safe. I'm actually super bummed I'm missing it.
If I could break the fourth wall, I mean, I don't think we ever got invited to a Vox holiday party.
I don't know if they ever even had one, and if they did, they definitely didn't invite us.
Yeah, and now here we are, a few months in.
You remember that one time we walked upstairs to the cafe and there was this waiters wearing tuxedos with like trays of entree, like hors d'oeuvres and stuff.
And we showed up and it was a bit awkward.
We were like, I guess we didn't get the invite.
Yeah, it's like we crashed a wedding. It was extremely awkward. So you're out. You're officially out.
Yeah, I wish I was there. I am the host of.
How many people are a part of this?
Last time there were 16 people there.
And you can't move it to tomorrow.
No, dude. They like you walk into my apartment complex and there's like posters everywhere. They send out emails. They make posts on social media about it. I mean, I'm the talk of the town.
What book are you guys reading right now?
And Then There Were None.
Oh,
Ooh, love that
Yeah,
book.
mystery book.
Yeah,
I still
George Orwell, right?
No, that's 1984.
You're thinking of Animal Farm.
No, Agatha
John
Christie.
Steinbeck?
Agatha Christie.
That's
no, you're thinking of the Black.
I legit read that book, I think, in like 8th or 9th grade. You
It's
guys
like
didn't?
100 years old.
Yeah, you guys didn't cover that one?
No, I
back
used
in
to
the-
hate reading. Now I like reading, and I wanted to meet.
So you guys have to read the whole book and then talk about it.
Yeah, that's a book club. Man.
All right. Well, does that mean everyone's out if GC is out?
I'm definitely not going.
Frank, are you in?
If he's not going, I'm not going.
Wow.
Them's just the facts. I stand in solidarity with old Connor Burks.
That's not true. He doesn't want to go.
So you're out. Okay, so there's a huge holiday party. Everyone's in the spirit here. PT, if I can just like paint the picture for you. You walk into the office here. They have done a fantastic job with the decorations and the music. They're giving us free coffee. I mean, the vibes.
Lunch.
You talk
Free
about the
lunch.
chill vibes, PT. The festive chill vibes. I actually feel bad. I'm thinking about flying you in because I feel like you would appreciate
Kind of rub it in my
this.
face. You're just
it is-
smashing my face in it, really, aren't you? Yeah.
It's the most
I didn't even
crowded
get
I've ever seen
invited.
this office. It is packed.
I didn't even get an invite. Like, just I know they didn't expect me to
Token.
go, but just send it. You know, just token. Just let me go. Oh yeah, imagine, dream a dream. Not
I'm
even
going.
a fucking invite.
Oh,
You
okay.
guys, I'm going.
All right. Well,
I
'cause
wouldn't have went anyway.
I
Then
don't
in
know- I
that
don't know
case,
about you guys.
That's
Oh, okay.
I was getting
Yes.
worried here because first GC not going, Frank not going, PT not going.
I'll be there.
Okay,
I'll
Rick's
be
going.
there with a bow on. Bells
right.
on. What is that expression? I don't
We
know.
don't care.
You'll have a black shirt on.
I'll be there. I'll be there with a black
You'll have a
T-shirt. That's
black
for
shirt.
damn sure.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Here's my black T-shirt.
Well, no,
It's a
happy
holiday
Hanukkah.
party, not a
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Non-denominational. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Happy
was,
Hanukkah, Merry
I was about to
Christmas,
say.
Happy
I had a
holidays.
little-
Sorry.
Probably a quiz before you come in.
Can I tell you a funny story about that? I think I might have mentioned it on the show. I used to do the backstage interviews at Fox, for Fox. And my stage manager, the producer backstage, was the late, great Adam Geller, Snacks, we've talked about on the show before. And I think it was a Stipe Miocic fight in December. I think it was Stipe. And he's like, you know what you should say? That he lit him up like a Christmas tree. And I was like, that's a good line. And so at the end, as I tossed it back to whoever was the host, I was like, and guys, all right, that does it for us. Stipe Miocic lighting up so-and-so like a Christmas tree here in Las Vegas. Back to you. And I got shit for it. I got shit because you can't talk about the holidays, you can't talk about religion. I'm like, I'm not
Why
even
can't you talk?
I'm not even
Guys
Christian.
can't say the Christmas.
You
line.
can't bring that up. Like, what?
I love it.
Yeah.
We're not allowed anymore. But yes, I will be there. I think some other people in the crew will be there.
On
I
Air
don't
Jordan
think
going
I'm
to be
gonna go
there,
alone.
Andy?
Are
I'm-
you
I'm seeing
actually?
nods.
Actually,
I'm
the
seeing
biggest
nods.
question is: are you going?
Well, I was trying to take the temperature of the crew.
You can take my RSVP. I mean,
Ariel's not going. I'd
He
bet
did-
anything.
he didn't
that Ariel
RSVP.
Helwani's not going to this.
and he thinks he's
He's
so
not
big time.
going.
They're just going to let him in. Without
Yeah, that's
an
right.
RSVP.
And they
That's
would.
right.
They would. They
Every
would,
time
though.
I'm just like,
Well, he's
you
not
didn't-
going.
You didn't RSVP, so you can't get in. He's just like,
I know a guy.
You know who
This,
I am?
by the way,
Just like
you
a-
by the
know
way,
who I am?
by the way,
man.
this is my RSVP right here.
he's the guy.
This is it.
He's not
just-
going to
you
use.
just
He's not going
bring
to
up
use.
your-
his
You're not
Uber
going, though.
certificate,
Ariel,
then he's going to
admit it.
get pulled over on the way home, and he's going to hit him with the. Do
You
not
just
know who
scroll
I
to
am?
yahoo.com.
Do you not
You're
know
just
who I
like,
am?
this is me here. I'm here. This is me.
Is it walking distance?
No,
Yeah, but they
Strike
got us the
against it.
Ubers. We're good.
Strike
We're good.
against it.
it's
we'll hop in the
further
Uber.
away from all of our houses except for Mysterious Frank.
That is tough.
We'll hop in the Uber. It's good. You'll come.
All right.
Come on.
Well,
come with me.
stay tuned. Perhaps tomorrow on the Boys in the Back, we could get a full.
Yeah, I would
Recap.
actually love that. I would love a break.
if I just do a breakdown for a GC, all right.
I could do one for you right now.
All right,
Yeah, go ahead.
do it.
There's some hors d'oeuvres. There's some people that we work with that we're now seeing in the evening.
I think this is what really
We're
troubles
reveling
Frank.
in the holidays.
Can I actually
times.
break the fourth wall? Really, Frank?
Break the fifth wall.
Yeah, let's break the fifth wall. So like, you guys don't even know about this. Me and Frank were enjoying some breakfast, and he's just like, "So you're not going to the holiday party?" I was like, "Nah, really, I can't. I'm, prior obligations." And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm not going to that shit. It's just not my thing."
That's
like,
my
"It's
boy.
just- that is
Wow.
just not my thing.
We have to
All
talk
right?
about
They can
things that
do
are
whatever
said
they
in
want.
confidence. Like, if I'm throwing out the shit,
Wow.
it's probably a
That
Connor
is
Frank.
just not my thing.
Greg, do we have to talk
I was
about
like,
things
oh, I
that were
would've-
said in
I
confidence?
was like, I would have loved to go.
Should we? Shall we?
We already offlined about that one.
All right. Well,
it's gonna be great. I'm excited about it. As Ariel has laid out, like they do a great job making it feel festive here. So it's gonna. I'm pretty stoked. I think it's gonna be fun.
the vibes.
I have also not really ever gone to like a
holiday
big
party.
company holiday party. When I used to work at Jack Taylor, shout out to our mutual friend John Beer, who you mentioned last week, or maybe earlier this week. Yes, you mentioned him earlier this week. The Jack Taylor used to throw some great holiday parties, but we were a little boutique firm back then. Now he's taken over the world.
This is big time.
This is big.
You're supposed to.
Could you imagine John Beer's Christmas party?
Correct?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. The Jack Taylor Christmas
it was
parties
unbelievable.
were pretty spectacular.
The vibes are fantastic. They are, dare I say, on fleek here at the office.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Jesus.
Oh my!
Who used that one?
Tough one?
I mean, that's like
2020 called right
6
now.
or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
man.
All right. Yesterday, what did I say yesterday? There was one, I said he was cooking, and I showed it to my kids, and they're like, the delivery isn't, it's not good.
Cooking's
Right,
gone.
right.
Just now
Cooking's
you
gone.
said it
Because
like
you're delivering it as a
cooking.
42-year-old man
Yeah.
as opposed to a 15.
I'm trying.
The Krispy Kreme line from Rick earlier this week. I'm still not over that.
yesterday.
The glaze?
Oh, that was
Yeah,
yesterday?
the glaze, yeah.
Blazing them up like a Krispy Kreme.
No, I said I won the
Fuck
Krispy Kreme
hell.
award for the day. I stole that from the Midnight Boys. But
Well, speaking of which,
we're gonna have Pantoja on
speaking of,
today.
there's a great transition right there.
Let him know, by the way.
Rick's favorite. Can we get a compilation of Rick just glazing Alexandre Pantoja?
The most
And-
underrated fighter.
Yes,
ever.
he will be joining us. The reigning defending UFC flyweight champion will join us at about 2:00. Can't wait to talk to him. Third successful title defense in a row. Obviously, he gets his 11th win this past weekend as a flyweight, tying the great Demetrius Johnson and Joseph Benavidez. 7th finish, tying the great Demetrius Johnson and Davison Figueiredo. And speaking of Davison Figueiredo, we get word today that he is interested in dropping down. We were all wondering who could be the guy. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that one, guys. Sign me up for that. So we will get Pantoja's reaction to that. I don't know. I don't want to call it a call out per se, but that statement, if you will, from Davison Figueiredo. After the Pantoja interview, we're going to be joined by an individual who has been on the show once before. There was a lot of news pertaining to his big idea, his big plans. Those plans have changed, and now there's a new chapter, and there's a lot of new things to discuss. I know I'm being a little bit coy, but let's have some fun here. So some news will be dropped, a lot will be revealed, a lot will be discussed with this individual, and then on the back end, 2 fighters who will be competing in this organization, if you will join us, and so that should be a fun time. We'll keep it all. Yeah, there it is. Let's have some fun on this holiday party Wednesday, shall we? And of course, on Wednesdays, we like to shoot from the hip. We like to answer some questions. arielhelwani.substack.com is where you can send all those questions, and we do have a ton to get to. Usually, I like to wait for the hot tag, but on this particular Wednesday, I'm going to bypass the hot tag. It's like those old school tag team matches where there is no tag, and the guy just jumps into the ring. Because there I was sitting in this chair yesterday. I was literally sitting in this chair yesterday as we were getting ready for our second Tuesday show. You know, we do a Helwani Show, usually till 3:30. Then we get ready, 5 o'clock Eastern. We go live with the great Ade Oladipo on the DAZN Boxing Show YouTube channel, Ariel and Ade. Another episode is up right now. We have a snippet on our YouTube channel. My big oos, the man himself, the future champ, Joseph Parker, joined us from all the way in Samoa. It was a great chat. I'm sitting here getting ready for the show. We're literally, 15 minutes away from going live. And all of a sudden, someone sends me a clip. I get this clip of Tweedledee and Tweedledum talking about me on a podcast, the Jake Shields podcast, which I still, some 20 hours later, I still can't believe this is an actual thing. It's an actual real thing. I kid you not. And it's Jake Shields and UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad talking about a whole host of fascinating topics that I'm sure there are a ton of people who want to hear their take on said topics. But one of the topics is me, your old friend, Ariel Helwani.
me?
Yeah, it's actually me. And I see this little snazzy clip that they they put together where, Jake is sitting back and he's like, yeah, what do you think about that Ariel Helwani with his cool backwards hat, his receding hairline? And Belal continues to spew the lies that he has spewed about me for almost a decade now. A, that I've never asked him to be on the show, debunked multiple times. B, that I don't want him on the show, debunked multiple times. C, that I don't want people who are associated with him on my show, debunked multiple times. Juliana Pena is like a freaking mainstay on the program. She's one of his good friends. Jared Gordon, I think, is his actual best friend. CM Punk, to name a few. And D, that I never put him over. And that, of course, has been debunked several times. And I sat there and I'm listening to this and I'm just seeing the hatred and the venom and the bigotry and the anti-Semitism just like oozing out of their veins. And I'm like, these fucking guys again with this shit. And then I try to listen. I get Rick's voice here, and I get GC's voice here, and I get Jordan's voice here, and they're like, just let it be. Don't take the bait. And I can't help myself. I say I want to be High Road Helwani, but then Petty Wani comes out, Heel Wani comes out, and I just can't help myself. So I kept it very simple, and I just said, yeah, that's not true, and it's not true, but keep spewing your lies, something to that effect. And then I just go on, and I have a show. I have a show to host. I have to go put the phone down, and I need to go host this show. Well, in the midst of hosting the show, there's Jake Shields, my old friend, the Strikeforce King, saying, post the DMs, post the receipts, moving the goalpost, this, that, and the other. I didn't even have to do any work. It was a beautiful thing. I didn't even have to do any work because I got people like No Context out there and Andrew Feldman out there, all kinds of allies out there who just have all the receipts ready. They have everything. I don't deserve any of the credit here. They had it all prepared, like within minutes. It's unbelievable. So I just, respond. All right, you want some actual proof of me publicly telling Belal that he is welcome on the show, wanting him on the show? You want some actual proof of me putting him over, saying that he's getting screwed by the UFC, that he deserved the title shot before Colby Covington against Leon? Oh, I feel bad for you right now. I feel bad for the audience because I have to go over this again. But the thing is, when people lie and they lie with such conviction and such confidence, you have to continue to shut it down. This is the same as people who deny that the Holocaust ever happened. Because if you don't stop them in their tracks, if you don't refute all the nonsense, they'll just keep running with it to the point where other people will start to believe in it. So every time they do this, I have to refute it. I have to defend myself. I have to remind them that you've been invited, you've been bigged up, you've been invited both publicly multiple times and privately. Your manager doesn't let you come on and on and on. It goes, you guys know the story by now. And that wasn't good enough for old Jake. That wasn't good. He wanted the private messages. He wanted them, the investigative journalist that he is. And so I just typed in Belal's name and I looked for the oldest message that I could find all the way down. And I found one from 2016 of me asking his manager to have Belal on the show before UFC 205. He fought at UFC 205 against Vicente Luque. And I don't usually like to do this sort of thing. I know in the past we've had to do it, but I did it because I wanted to prove that this is bullshit. Oh, you only do it. That's not a real invitation. Excuse me, like a public, you're welcome anytime. I'd love to have you. Let's bury the hatchet. Let's talk this and that. That's not good enough. All right, here's me trying. And by the way, again, like I said, spoiler, it never happened. He's never come on. He's never wanted to come on. He doesn't want to come on because he doesn't like me, and I'll leave it at that. And so he is able to then do this thing where he sits there and be like, he doesn't want me on. He doesn't big me up. He doesn't want my people on. He doesn't want this. He would want. And it's a lie. 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 And I hope by now the audience is understanding who the liar is and who the truth teller is. It's a line that I think, what's that guy's name? Kendrick Lamar, I think he said it recently.
That's right.
Don't tell no lies about me.
Yes.
And I won't tell truths about you, that one. So that's what happens every time, every time. And so here, now you got the text message. Is that good enough for you? Is that good enough for you guys? I've bigged you up. I've invited publicly. I've invited privately. And despite the fact that you continue to lie about me, I will once again say, you are welcome. I would love to have you on. Let's bury the hatchet. Let's show people that we can have a civil and professional and cordial conversation. And so I'll say right now, in fact, I'll go one step further. I'll name the date and I'll name the time. Monday, let's say, that's our next show, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Here's the invitation. Come on the show. If you're the bigger man, if you really truly feel like I've been disrespecting you or that I haven't been treating you well or whatever it is, come on the show and let's talk live. And if you feel like this is a play for me to get my ratings up or get my views up, you can live stream it on your show too. You have a show with Jason Anik, just met him for the first time, seems like a great guy. Was very happy to meet him and of course his brother, John. You can live stream it. And if that's not good, if you don't have the technology or whatever to do it, I'll come on your show the next day. That night, I'll come on, I'll return the favor. Monday, 2 p.m. Come on the show. Prove to the world that it's not you, it's me. Prove to the world. Prove to the world. Once again, I will invite you once again on the show. And if you don't want to do it, you're well within your rights. You don't want to talk to me, you're busy, you got a lot of things to do. I totally understand. You're well within your rights. But enough of this. Enough of the lying, enough of the making up stories. You know for a fact that I've tried to have you on and I've attempted to do it publicly and privately. You know for a fact that I've bigged you up because, in fact, you have retweeted and commented on me bigging you up. I posted all this. I don't have anything ready. I have nothing. Usually I put things up here. I have nothing. It's all on the timeline. You know for a fact that all of this is a lie. And I will leave it at that. I'll keep it between us. I'll keep it between us. I'll leave it at that. You know for a fact that this is all a lie and that you're making all of this up. And if I say one thing critical, I say a bunch of critical things about a bunch of other people. You harp on that and then you ignore everything else. You're the welterweight champion. I just said a couple of days ago, the Shavkat fight is not the one-sided beatdown that everyone thinks it is. It's a 50-50 fight. I've called you an incredible fighter. I said that you were getting screwed, that you earned the title shot, that you won fair and square, all that stuff and more. Oh, but he mentioned the time zone. Come on. Are you that sensitive? Are you that sensitive? And so we'll leave it at that. You think that I don't want you on? For whatever reason, you want to spin this narrative, these lies? Come on the show Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and you can live stream it on your show as well. And if you don't want that, I'll come on your show. And if you don't want to come on, that's totally fine, but stop with the lies. Now, as for Jake Shields, as for my old friend Jake Shields, it's a bit of a different story because Jake is a different kind of cat. We know what Jake is doing. We know what he's all about. And so as far as Jake is concerned, I will just say, I hope by now you realized that everything you said about me on that show was an absolute lie and that you're making shit up. And you have a podcast, and apparently there are people that listen to this podcast, and good on you. You're finding something to do post-fighting. But here's a bit of advice. Someone who's been, doing this for a long time, doing this, talking into a microphone, hosting shows for a long time, because now you're in the media space. I saw that you invited me on your show. So, you're trying to do that game. I just invited Belal. You invited me. Great, fair play. Well done. Shoot your shot. I get it. A word to the wise, Jake, a word to the wise. If you are trying to get guests on your show, do me a favor. Do me a favor. For your own sake. Try to spell their name correctly. Just do that. Just try to spell their name correctly because I saw a multitude of spellings of Ariel. It's not Arial. That's a font on Microsoft Word. Look up Microsoft Word. I know you never used it before. It's a thing. You type things into it. That's a font. It's not Areal. I have no idea where that one comes from. It's Ariel. Ariel. You've spelled my name multiple times as you were trying to invite me on the show. And so this is the RSVP. I respectfully decline the invitation. I respectfully decline. If I would like to sit in a room across the table from someone who has the social skills of a drug addict on a 3-day bender, I could just go downtown and check out the local crack house. I could do that. I could do that, Jake, and just hang out with those people. I don't want to be in a room with you. I don't want to be in a room with someone who spews the nonsense and the bigotry that you spew. But if you do want to invite me next time, do me a favor. It's Ariel, which is Hebrew for Ariel, which is Hebrew for lion, Ariel, God. Lion of God, Ariel, which is Hebrew, which is the language that the chosen people speak in the great state of Israel. You fucking bigot. Learn it, Learn about it, learn how to spell, and leave me the fuck alone. All right? Once and for all, I've had enough of your shit. And stop telling people that you don't watch my shit. You follow me. I expose that. I'm tired of you and all the nonsense that you spew. I went on your Twitter page yesterday, and I said earlier that there's no way that Jake Shields writes this stuff. I'm here to take that back. I apologize. You 1,000% write that stuff, because I can't imagine anyone being that dumb other than you writing the shit that you spew. And I know you're going to bring up my uncle, and you're going to talk about my family, and you're going to talk about Israel, and you're going to say, oh, they kill kids over there. We know exactly who you are. You're a washed up has-been fighter who is content farming on Twitter and getting paid, and that's the only way that you can get paid these days. So good on you. God bless. Leave my name out of it, out of your mouth. And if you do want to use my name, it's Ariel, Lion of God. Get it right, jabroni. All right, now we're done. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do it. Oh, thanks. Now to the questions we like to shoot on a Wednesday afternoon. Can we shoot?
Let's shoot.
All right.
That wasn't shooting? I mean, if that's not shooting, what do we do?
Kevin. Hey, Ariel, I've been watching and following you since 2009 and 2010. I'm so happy for all your success. Your show and your team are on fire. You're doing the best content of your whole career right now, and the boys in the back is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about you guys. You feel my week? You fill my week of anticipation and appreciation. I've got two questions. Number one, what was the most exciting year of MMA, and you're reporting on it, that you experienced so far? I mean, I always talk about 2016. We've talked about the book, the documentary, the whatever that we can do surrounding it. 2016, there were 5 pay-per-views that had over 1 million buys. 5 pay-per-views that had over 1 million. Let me see if I can recite them again. Well, can I do the game where I recite all the pay-per-views that year? I love that game.
Yeah, hit it.
January 1st, Condit Lawler, it was January. It was January 2nd. Second day of the year ended up being the fight of the year. Incredible fight, UFC 195 in Las Vegas. 196, early March, Conor versus Nate. That's the first million. 197, John Jones versus and I'm not looking at anything here. John Jones versus OSP. 3 weeks prior, John Jones is in an orange jumpsuit. The day before that fight, we get the infamous Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz press conference where Conor doesn't show up and Nate is there for UFC 200. What a week that was. Incredible. The fight against OSP, if I'm being honest, wasn't the greatest fight of all time, but it was still great theater and a grand old time. UFC 198 was Stipe versus Verdum. Curry Tiba, 55,000 plus. Knockout, incredible stuff. Stipe becomes champion for the first time. UFC 199, Rockhold Bisping, an amazing scene. You know all about that whole week. Incredible. And okay, so wait, have I got to the second? No, I haven't even gotten to the second. $1 million buy pay-per-view. Okay, 200. Well, okay, we know about 200 and everything that happened with John Jones and Daniel Cormier and Hunt and Lesnar and all that stuff. 201, Tyron Woodley versus Robbie Lawler. Woodley knocks out Lawler to become the UFC welterweight champion. 202, Nate versus... Okay, so 200 was the second $1 million pay-per-view. 202 was the third, Nate versus Conor. 204 was... 204... Okay, so 20... Wait, did I skip 203? Yes, I skipped 203. Yeah. 203 was in Cleveland. Alistair Overeem against Stipe Miocic, CM Punk's debut. 204, Michael Bisping against Dan Henderson in Manchester in the middle of the night. Great scenes. 206. Oh, sorry. What's wrong with my math? 205. New York City. That's the fourth pay-per-view. Million buys. That's Conor versus Eddie Alvarez. 206 was the Toronto card, which the last time I did this with Steve-O, I said it wasn't the greatest card of all time, and I maintain it wasn't. It was supposed to be DC versus Rumble Johnson. There was an injury. The fight got rebooked, and we ended up getting Pettis in the interim title fight. But you did get the Doo Ho Choi Cub Swanson fight of the year contender on there. Interestingly enough, I don't even think Lawler Condit, which was the consensus fight of the year that year, is in the UFC Hall of Fame, but Choi Swanson is? Never quite understood that. Anyway, and then you have 207, which was the incredible Cody Garbrandt fight against Dominic Cruz, and of course Ronda Rousey against Amanda Nunes. That's the best year in UFC history. Oh, by the way,
what was the fifth? What was the $5 million?
207.
207.
Ronda's return.
Ronda versus
comeback fight of the year.
Ronda. Yeah, listen. I'm still on the corner.
By the way, 5 pay-per-views, and in the midst of all of that, the company got sold. Like, if you're talking about a year that had just like a ton of stuff, the company got sold in the midst of that in July.
Okay. I feel like...
You disagree?
No. I'm not about to argue. What I'm going to ask is, I think, maybe a more difficult question, and maybe you don't have the answer for this. That was clearly the biggest MMA year. But from an Ariel Helwani perspective, was that the biggest year? Was it covering all those things that made that the biggest year? Was there another year that you were doing the most or achieving the most or doing something else? Like from your year, was that the biggest one? And now you may,
Yes.
I feel like it was, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like you might remember the events more than you remember the things that are happening in your life, because I feel like sometimes I'm like a passenger. I'm just kind of like going.
Oh, so you're saying
along
like
for it.
from a personal standpoint?
Your year.
Oh, I thought you meant like me covering the sport, like meaning like what I thought was.
Was the most stuff happening for you? Was that the big break? Was that like what?
That's a great question. Well, 2018 was great because obviously we went to ESPN and that was very exciting. But that turned out to be not so fun very quickly. You experienced all of it firsthand. Okay, I would argue there were a lot of great years. 2019 was very special because I felt like we got over the hump at ESPN and we started to like find a groove with the shows. Ariel and the Bad Guy, the Monday show was starting to find its groove, and then I started to get to do the NBA stuff as well. And I also, I did like the E60 people. I did the E60 story on Daniel Cormier. I got to do ESPN Radio. I did Outside the Lines. Like I started to feel like I was a part of the the
Fabric.
ecosystem. Yeah, the ESPN whatever machine. And so I always think there was one weekend that International Fight Week pay-per-view weekend, 2019, July of 2019. John Jones versus Thiago Santos. That same weekend, I did 3, I think it was, Summer League games. So I was going back and forth from MMA to Summer League. And I worked with Vince Carter and George Sedano, and it was a dream. And it was the first time I got to do like the on-air sideline reporting and all that. So 2019 was pretty damn special. And of course, 2021 was great when we went back to MMA fighting and then all the other stuff that we were building. And dare I say, 2024 has been wonderful with this new chapter.
Love it. That's pretty cool.
All right. Number 2, I'm a pretty skilled artist and illustrator, but a neurological issue has stopped me from following that trade anymore. I'm sorry to hear. However, your show has been such a mainstay in my life that I would love to create a kick-ass piece of art for your team. Where would I send it is my question. Thank you for all the work you guys do. Greatly appreciate it. I'll reply to this. My
email is public on my X account.
Oh.
Just send me an email.
Okay, there it is.
Send me an email.
Tayshawn 8888. Ariel and crew, congrats on the big 1-5. Well deserved, as always. Not fight related, but I've learned there are some cinephiles on the staff. Curious to hear everyone's film of the year, specifically Frank, who seems to have choice taste.
Hey.
Best to all of you and talk soon.
That's funny. Honestly, my favorite movie of the year, and there were some really good ones, like Dune Part 2 was amazing. I thought Romulus was good for what it was worth, but the one that takes the cake is honestly The Substance. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. I've been recommending it to everyone. It's the Barbie that we were promised but didn't get until The Substance came out.
The Barbie that we were promised?
The Barbie movie, yeah.
I
just feel like,
what is it at? Like, how is it even close to the Barbie?
What does that even mean?
I feel like it's the most empowering for women. I think it talks on the topics that Barbie was attempting to do.
Was Barbie supposed to be empowering?
The woman in the control room seems to disagree with this.
She just shook her head yes. Is that what? Does that mean disagreement?
She had her hand up like, what the fuck are you talking about, Frank?
You can go on air.
Oh, look. There's the
Wow.
hand again. Oh, no.
This I think this stems from the cookies comment from yesterday.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
I mean, it could.
She handed me another cookie today.
Wow. Probably drugged. Just kidding. But wait. Is she disagreeing with the Barbie? I don't know what you're talking about as far as that other movie is concerned, but was Barbie supposed to be empowering? Was Barbie supposed?
Barbie?
I did.
Sleep through that one?
It was definitely about women empowerment.
Yeah, beauty standards.
So I missed that part. Damn it.
Culture and how it reflects on that, of course.
It was for the girlies for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my daughter loves it.
She's a girly.
Oh, I wouldn't have her watch The Substance, just to be clear. Like, not the
show it
not
to
the
her.
target audience.
Daughter?
Yeah, let her.
Definitely don't let the daughter watch.
Oh,
no,
come
no.
on.
Have you guys seen The Substance?
Yeah.
Have you,
Yeah, it's
do you agree with this take that it's the film of the year?
Rick
was-
loved it. Rick loved it.
It's my second, and my first is the other one you mentioned, Dune Part 2. I think Dune Part 2 is an absolute masterpiece. If in any other year, The Substance would be my pick, but Dune Part 2 is next level.
Mine was Interstellar 10-year, and I went and saw it in IMAX last week. It was.
I got
so
some
good.
hot takes on that.
It was so good.
Arrival.
If they're playing Interstellar anywhere near you, please go see it. God, it's just incredible. But I actually agree with Rick. Dune Part 2.
Dune.
3 years that came out.
It was
movies
so
that came out
good.
this year. So good. What do you?
And I
what are you
assume
thinking?
you've seen
Moana
you've
2?
seen Dune Part 2, right, Ariel?
I've yes, I love the cinematography in that one.
Okay, good. It was quite beautiful.
I've been to one movie this year. You all know this. We talked about
Moana
it.
2, baby.
So that's my that's my pick. PT, do you have a pick? Are you a big cinephile, PT?
Do they have movies?
I watch old movies. I don't really watch new
They
films.
invented movies in Ireland, Connor.
Yeah, we invented them. The Quiet Man. That had to be the first. No. I actually don't think I've seen any new films this year apart from like Beetlejuice, which I really enjoyed. But other than that, nothing.
Wait, Beetlejuice like the original?
The original one.
Beetlejuice.
This year, man.
There's a new Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Called Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow.
Is Christopher Lloyd in it?
No.
Christopher Lloyd?
Was never.
You mean
in
Michael
Beetlejuice.
Keaton?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd was not in Beetlejuice. He was
What
in
are you
Back to the
talking
Future.
about?
Michael Keating's in it.
Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice.
dude with the
I
hair
don't
is
think
not
I
Christopher
haven't
Lloyd?
seen the substance.
Michael
I haven't seen any of these films.
Back to the Future.
You're thinking of Back to the... Wait, what is happening right now? You know Back to the Future so well. So why... What's the disconnect?
Why did I
here
think
with
Christopher
Beetlejuice?
Lloyd's in that film?
The same
Doc.
hair. You
He's
just
Doc
same
from
hair. I
Back
guess.
to the Future.
You don't have the same hair.
They do have similar hair.
They've come
One's
big hair.
green
It's
and
like blown out.
matted.
It's like Fritz.
Lloyd did turn down the role for Beetlejuice.
Ah, I knew it.
Oh, right.
See,
You
I
knew
knew
it?
it.
He's not in
yeah.
it.
That's the link. That's
No, but it's not him.
that's-
It's Michael Keaton.
Wait, so is
I'm
Michael
gonna
Yeah, I
Keaton
don't
in
think
it?
I've.
Yeah, Michael Keaton reprises the role.
Ah, I love it.
Yeah,
I still got to go
it's
see
quite good.
Gladiator too.
It's quite
I gotta
good.
check that. Oh yeah, I heard
Paul
that was
Mescal.
good.
And
I'm going
Denzel.
to see Wicked on Friday.
I heard that was good.
Jordan loved it.
I'm still holding out.
Is it Wicked 1 or Wicked 2?
It is.
One.
It is Wicked 1.
Isn't
Yeah.
it like
Do
a
part
prequel
2.
to Oz though?
Yes.
I did watch The Wizard of Oz the other week.
Oh, we
Nope.
never even talked about this.
Yeah.
How did we not talk
Yeah.
about this?
Yeah,
Well-
I watched it. Yeah, I see. Like for its time.
Wait, is it like the
really
50s one?
made,
Yeah.
like, the 30s one. The 30s.
Oh, geez.
I mean, incredible advancements in cinema for sure.
I mean, for that time though, the special the
Yeah.
guy painted
It was a-
silver to be the Tin
It's
Man
a
was
very impressive movie.
yes.
Best movie of all time. I'm not so
Yeah, I didn't think you'd
Not
get there,
so
but,
sure.
but I'm just happy you at least saw it.
impressive movie. Team me up for
Are
Wicked.
you still sticking with that one?
But this
Rick?
is the least controversial take. I know you guys feel like this is controversial. This is a cinema classic to the point of I'm surprised you guys think this is controversial.
A lot of iconic scenes in it for sure.
Yeah.
It informed so much after it.
That's your favorite movie ever.
Favorite movie.
Same.
I
He
think
says it's the greatest
best.
movie of all time.
The best.
Maybe the most influential. Maybe the most.
I get it. I get the
groundbreaking
pick.
in the time.
It's a cinephile pick.
It's mid.
I
Nah,
agree, Frank.
see,
It's
then you
Did you ever
get
read the
crazy.
book about the making
Wizard
of
of
that
Oz.
and all the horrific things that
Yes,
happened
it
during
was-
the
it was
making?
quite a
Wasn't
fraught
the
production.
That's why you like it. You
Yes,
sick
because
fuck.
I like
Because
the
you could
suffering.
see it and then the.
What do you mean? What do you mean by horrific things?
Oh man.
Oh, I don't want to get into it, Ariel. It's
Okay.
disgusting. Disgusting what they did.
Here
Really?
I was ripping right.
I'm glad you liked the film. I'm glad you liked the product of
Oh,
hate.
you're not going to shame me, PT. You're not going to shame me from loving the
Is it
Wizard
the
of Oz.
flying monkeys that are your favorite?
No, they are not my favorite, Frank. I'm quite partial to Dorothy.
Max83. Hello, Ariel. With the holidays right in front of us, I want to take this chance to wish you and the whole crew happy and healthy days with your loved ones. My question is, what was the best gift each one of you has received? My best one was the Game Boy back in the day. I freaked out about that one. Greetings from Germany, my man. Best gift. There's always a gift that I talk about with my mom. I remember being in the 3rd grade, and she told me that if I got a good parent-teacher interview session, if you will, that she would get me Mario Brothers 3, and she ended up giving it to me before the parent-teacher interview to say that she was so confident that it was going to be good. And I remember holding it, and I remember opening the wrapping paper and being like, oh, and it's Mario 3 is my favorite one, probably because of that reason. I don't know if that's like a controversial take or anything like that. That's the one where he has like the raccoon ears and all that stuff. You know that one, guys?
Yeah, it's a great one.
Is it
feathers? You get the feathers.
Is it the raccoon ears?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Like for some reason, that gift has just
Or
stuck
is it
with me.
squirrel? Because I guess raccoons don't fly, so it must be flying squirrel, right? Because it's like the bushy tail
I
with
feel
the.
like the tail is like a raccoon tail.
No, but do raccoons fly?
Yeah. Well, I mean, does anyone fly really?
It's actually called
Yes,
Tanuki
birds
Mario.
fly. I've seen it.
To what?
Birds aren't
Tanuki
real.
Mario.
Yeah, that's that one. Anyway, that's the one that comes to mind. How about you guys?
a GameCube in 2002
It's always a video game
with
system.
Super
isn't it?
Mario. With
What's
Super
wrong with
Mario
that?
Sunshine in it. So shout out to Mario.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh God,
Yeah.
classic. Real ones know.
I actually
Super
skipped
Mario
that
Sunshine.
one.
Oh,
I know.
It's like Tropical Mario. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were you cleaning up a bunch of paint?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And you got
Used to
the-
be a plumber,
the
now
water
he's
jetpack.
custodial work. I'm joking. I know it's great. I just I skipped that one.
It was
My-
N64 for me. It's always video game
Yeah.
systems. It
My
really
favorite-
because you don't have the money to buy them, and you
Yeah.
want them so bad, and all your
That's
friends have them, and then you get them, and it's just like the greatest thing ever. You spend all day playing them. Oh, it's the best. I actually still have that GameCube to this day in my apartment.
Was that for Christmas?
Yeah, Christmas. Woke up that morning.
Yeah.
Still have that copy of Super Mario Sunshine too.
I got to be honest. I've never heard of Super Mario Sunshine.
Wow, you got to
But
look
did
it
you
up.
you
play
would've-
GameCube
I wasn't
at
a
all?
Was it a
Yeah.
GameCube exclusive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have graduated high school around that time.
Yeah, you were likely
2002.
like.
I was already in college, broski.
Oh yeah.
My favorite holiday gift was spending it with you guys last year. Nah.
Womp
This is the worst
womp.
answer.
Actually, it was a Yamaha DX200. It was my first synthesizer. I got it when I was a sophomore in high school. Loved that thing. Still have it to this day.
I'm not.
Wow.
It's like an audio equipment thing.
It's a musical instrument.
I'm not gonna lie. When you said Yamaha, I thought you were gonna say like a dirt bike.
I'm sitting in front of a Yamaha console right now, just in case.
I know
I'm just
Yamaha.
wondering if
I know
you
Yamaha makes a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what a DS is.
I'm curious about
DX200.
PTs. I really
The
want to go
DX200.
PTs.
PT, what about you?
My favorite gift. My favorite gift. My friend Sans drew a picture of me for my birthday when I was 14, and I've had it ever since. It's somewhere up here. I haven't hung it up yet, but it's traveled everywhere with me. So
That's
that's
incredible.
my prized possession.
I love that.
Yeah. He drew it with pen. Like the detail in it is incredible. It's a massive, massive picture, and the detail in it is incredible. And I've managed to keep it. We've lost it 3 times, would you believe, in different moves.
Wow.
Found
But
it each
somehow
time?
I always get it back. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So I love it.
It comes back in the wash.
I don't know. Like we always just leave it in a stupid place. I thought I had lost it for sure. We moved into this house, and then we found it in Elaine's ma's attic. Don't know how the fuck it got there, but we found it.
Rick?
N64. And
Just-
Great one. Classic.
What year?
I don't fucking know.
96.
Like, what were the
when I
games
was-
that you got with it?
Hot off the presses?
GoldenEye. I think
So
I don't- I
GoldenEye
don't
was
thi-
already out.
Oh,
Did you get
remember that
WCW
game?
versus NWO in that one?
That was a fun one.
That
yeah.
was the one on that one. Yeah.
He made a reference to it the
Six-
other day where he pulled the baseball bats out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting the stuff from under the ring. 64 was goated, man.
Iconic.
Was
So
it?
good.
Crazy
Perfect
controller.
dark.
Were you guys hold it
Remember
wide or
GoldenEye,
middle?
Ocarina of
and
Time,
Right stick.
Legend of Zelda was sick. All of them were. Banjo, even
Pilot
Banjo Kazooie
Wings.
was
Oh,
nice.
Banjo Kazooie and Banjo.
Wave Race.
Shout out.
What? Oh yeah, Wave Race
Wave
64.
Race, Pilot Wings,
Oh.
Blast Core,
Donkey Kong 64 slept on.
Turok.
Smash.
Shout out
God, I love it.
Nintendo.
Shout out to Nintendo. I still have a Switch just because it's just like pure nostalgia.
The only 2
Pokemon
games that I
Snap.
remember from
Snap.
N64 are WCW, NWO, and WWF No Mercy.
Seriously,
Those are
you
the-
only remember 2 wrestling.
Golden.
No, the wrestling games were
GoldenEye, yeah,
sick,
come on.
man. The wrestling games
Wrestling-
I'm
were
not saying
sick
they
on the
weren't sick. I'm
N64.
just saying.
Okay, Mario
Shadows
Kart.
of the
Mario
Empire.
Kart. Mario
Ocarina
Kart.
I was about to
of
say,
Time,
Mario Kart
Majora's
for sure.
Mask. Ay, ay, ay. Take me back. Simpler times.
Take me back.
Better times.
FT MMA. Hey, Ariel and the boys. No question this week. Just wanted to congratulate Rick on his Australian 200-meter record set last week.
I can take no credit, but shout out to the homie Gout, the legend. 10.04, baby. 10.04.
He's
Gout.
ridiculous, man.
Legend.
CE, lads. A genie looking a lot like Turkey Al Sheikh appears. He says he will make one boxing fight of your choice. What are you choosing? I'm going for Canelo versus Benavidez.
Do I even need to answer?
Yeah, I know.
Do I need to say
I feel like
anything?
this is just for you.
Yeah, of course.
I saw an interview from this morning where Eddie's being interviewed by IFL TV and Chris Eubank's manager pops up. And could you believe this? They're arguing about the split now. Eddie wants 50-50. Eubank wants 55-45. That's what it's come down to, 5%.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
We're almost there,
just
boys.
leave
We
us
almost
alone.
got it.
At this
Almost
point,
there.
leave us alone.
No.
I'm so
Stop
over
it.
this.
No.
Just let's move on.
How you
No.
continued this bit up to
Yeah.
keep
It's
saying
like
this
the
is
most-
like your number one fight
it's
in
the
all of
most-
combat is
When
insane.
they're
He
releasing
still
the
says that
promos
Ronda
for this-
Rousey was the 2016
you're-
comeback fighter
when
of the
they're
year.
releasing the promos for this, you guys are gonna apologize.
Nothing.
I'm
You're
more
gonna say
excited
sorry.
for Usyk Fury 2 next week than
You're
I
gonna
would be
say sorry
for
to me.
Ben Eubank.
Speaking of Usyk Fury, you can watch that alongside me and GC right here on the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
We're
we
gonna
work
do
all the
a
way into the
watch along.
holidays.
Yeah.
Don't mind us. Ariel will have his feet kicked up in Miami. We'll be,
And you can get more
Down in the
preview
pavement.
coverage of that next week on Ariel and Ade.
Well, thank you.
Also
Whoa, these are nice
on
plugs.
DAZN, but there's also
Yes.
some clips on this channel. Come on, when the promos hit for that, you're talking about the
I'm gonna be
Bloodline
like, oh, they
promo.
finally
You're
made the
talking about
promo.
this one Bloodline promo for a fight that ended up not being even competitive. The Bloodline promo for this one would span decades. It would be the most incredible thing ever created. You're out of your mind. This is the one. Nobody will talk me off this, and it seems like we're closer than ever. Let's get
It's so ridiculous. 5%. They're literally on camera arguing about 5%.
We just need it to happen. And then
Shoot me in the
you know
head.
what? You know what's going to change for you, Ariel?
Yes.
When Senior comes back into the fold and this starts to get built up, and now everybody's involved, it's going to hit epic proportions. It's the fight.
Yeah, I disagree. Off the top of my head, Inoue, Bam Rodriguez.
I mean, it's a great fight.
That's my pick. Or how about this one? Tank versus Shakur. Shakur's stock has gone down a little bit, but
I was going to say, I don't know if Shakur's the guy. Like,
the history.
if we can get it, I mean, the Haney Garcia rematch is going to be a banger. Like that,
That's a
the
great
implications of that one are going to be far-reaching.
Yeah, I just feel like we saw it. But yeah, no, I mean.
No, we saw it. It
and
was
it's-
incredible.
Yeah, I know. And now it's even bigger, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, you guys were teasing like the rumblings of Teofimo and Boots. Like, there's just so much on the table right now in the boxing world that could potentially come to fruition.
Hello, team. Kaikar Francis coming off an impressive finish over Steve Urseg. Yes. Do you put KKF on the Australia card and hope he wins to become a more desirable, worthy challenge? Or do you hold him out and not risk him losing? At this point, I think you kind of have to hold him out. If it's not going to be Figueiredo and it's not going to be Demetrius Johnson and it's not going to be Muhammad Makayev, I think you kind of have to hold him out. I think you risk it and have him fight. KKF with an impressive performance in Australia could create real demand for the Pantoja fight. I don't know. I mean, Urseg was coming off a great win, but it was at the Apex and no one really was talking about it. And then all of a sudden he got a title shot. Like, Asakura, the casual UFC fan, didn't know, and they did a great job of building him up. Like, I don't think you need to risk it, because what if he loses? And who does he fight? And if he fights one of the guys who Pantoja has already beaten, now you're in a pickle. And I know he beat him, but you can sell the tough thing, and here's his chance and all that stuff. So, unless it's Figgy, and that would be incredible. Hey, Ariel, what is each of the team's favorite ice cream? Gosh, can New York Rick have ice
Cookies
cream?
and cream.
He seems like a guy with lactose intolerance.
I love
I thought that was you saying that.
No. I was like, what the hell?
All
Where are we
right, so
going?
what are we up to? We
Yeah.
got gout.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Sleep apnea, and now we got the lactose.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't let Rick near lactose.
I'm a child, so mine is always like the most colorful. Like, I'll take the cotton candy, rainbow, this, that, the other. So
I never had you down for that. Never have you down for
I'm
that.
such a I'm such a child.
I know. I
when it
thought he
comes
was
to
just gonna be like straight chocolate.
How do you feel
Really?
You don't need anything more.
that. No, but yeah, simplicity. But no, you guys know my habits. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a sweets fiend, and like anything that's like rainbow, catch your eye.
I guess he does
sugary.
like a lot. He loves spice too. I watched bro just down an entire packet of wasabi the other day. No problem.
Spices.
Oh man, when I went to that restaurant last Friday, the
Okay.
wasabi, it was like
Come
it was like a thing. It was almost
like
like
the actual root?
like a stick, yeah,
They
and
grounded for you?
right in front of us.
Did
Was
they
it-
give you any of the like pickled wasabi? where
Nah,
it's
they don't do any of
marinated?
that. They don't do any of that.
Flying
It's-
us out
Yeah,
or
I'm
what?
sure they
When are we going?
Yeah,
Ah.
I can't go.
Wasabi.
I'll tell you something about the $90 cantaloupe. It was to
Wait,
die
you didn't
for.
taste you got to eat
Pizza
the
allowed?
cantaloupe.
Did they chop up the cantaloupe for you?
Oh yeah, little pieces, and then they fed it to us. No, I'm kidding.
They baby birded you.
This place is crazy.
And this was during the massage, or that was earlier?
It was right after the massage, so we were all calm.
Oh, you went massage and then food.
Yeah, of course. You can't eat first and then have a massage.
I think
Nah.
that's actually how you
Everybody
described
knows
it
that.
originally.
Everybody knows
Everyone
that.
knows that. Payne, hey GC, excuse me. How do you get
JC.
How do you get to the
Apparently
earliest
only one
and
or
best lines on fights? I've noticed books will have the fight well in advance, but won't add props or rounds until closer to the date. Do you check periodically, set alarms, appreciate the picks? Please bring back the previous week review.
Yeah, I'm going to start bringing that back tomorrow. Fightodds.io. They have every book's odds, and then BetOnline has the earliest lines on everything. That's how I do it.
You got to press your microphone.
Thanks.
He's
Thanks,
still
Ariel.
working out the kinks.
Working out the kinks. But do you have like an alert for when the lines drop, or is that just like a you have to know You just have to see
you
it.
kind of just pick up on the tempos of when things drop. Like I'm usually bet online on Sunday and the early part of the week. They're going to drop the props first, so you can kind of get an idea of what's going to go up on other books. Bet365 is great with like total rounds and everything like that. You just gotta be shopping all the time, man. Fightodds.io though.
But that's the spot.
That's where you're going to find the best lines.
All right. Here's an interesting one. Mr. Mystery. Hello, Ariel, BITB, Andy, Pizzi, On Air Jordan, and Ant Evans.
Wow,
Ooh,
this guy,
gosh.
no, or girl, shouldn't assume.
Well, no
both.
Andy. No Andy. Oh, Andy is
He said
there.
Andy.
Okay, all right. Since it's Wednesday, we like to shoot an Ariel's Now American. Which firearms / weapons does everyone on the crew own?
I love this.
Oh wow, all right. Okay.
Which would you like to get? To those who don't own any guns, have you ever shot one? I bet Texas Frank has an electric armory room.
Wow.
Now, was he saying
Who wants to jump in
eclectic
first?
or electric? Did he actually say electric?
Oh, actually, what did I say?
Electric.
Oh,
It's eclectic, right?
eclectic, yeah, I
Yeah, I
was
figure
laughing
Frank
too
does
much.
have an eclectic gun collection. Frank,
Texas,
over
Texas
to you.
Frank is a great name.
Actually, just used to collect airsoft guns that were replicas of the other guns because they won't let me buy guns, believe it or not.
All right.
You specifically?
Me specifically, I had to sign my rights away to own guns. I wish I was joking.
What's the
What?
law? What's the law in Ireland, by the way, PT? Like we know what it is here, but what is it in Ireland?
Put down the guns and fight like a man. That's the law around here.
Yeah, yeah. Now yourself. No, seriously.
the dude?
Are you allowed to own guns?
You can have one, but like it's you have to lock it in a locker out your back garden. Lads get robbed for them all the time around here.
Mm.
If you have a gun, they'll get it off you.
Have you shot a gun?
Yeah, terrified of the fucking things. Oh my
I've
god,
shot
terrified.
several.
Went away like shooting
Is it
machine
the
guns with
power
the
that
lads.
scares you, or
Yeah, it's just like if I just turned around, I'd kill everyone in this room, kind of thing. You know what I mean? What if I
Oh,
recoil or
Oh,
something?
that-
definitely,
yeah.
definitely
You
don't
should
want you
stay
handling
away
a
from
gun.
guns,
Yeah.
then.
Go
we
ahead and
we
just
went
put
to
the guns
Prague
down.
on a stag trip, and the lads just ended up videotaping me shooting because I was that terrified of the gun. I was like, it was terrible. I don't think I'd ever have a gun. If I did have a gun, though, I'd do something terrible.
Was it a
immediately.
rifle,
Jesus,
handgun?
man.
What were you shooting?
Yes, this is good that you don't have a gun.
It was like
Yeah,
a
it's for the
machine
best.
gun. It was a big, powerful machine gun.
Like semi-automatic every time you pull.
I was
the
like
trigger?
jiggling all over. I was like,
Oh,
"Ugh."
What about you, Ariel? You ever shot a gun?
BB or paint gun?
Like an actual firearm?
I have, yeah, I have.
A pistol, rifle, any reference? Or
AK-47.
Jesus. Like, what? It's like, you're like
I like to go for the gusto.
people's gun, right?
Yeah.
I played a
But
lot
no,
of Call of
seriously.
Duty.
There used to be a place called what was it called? The gun store back.
Yeah,
in
the
day?
gun store in Las Vegas.
Yeah, everyone was
Everyone
sponsored by
would
them.
post the content of them shooting it over there.
Let's go shoot guns next time we're in Vegas.
Yeah, the last time we were in Vegas.
Except Pizzi. Pizzi, you
Yeah,
stay
Pizzi
home,
has to
man.
stay outside.
Well, Frank's not legally allowed, apparently.
I could shoot it. I just can't own one.
Yeah. And then we'll go, what do you always want to do when we go to Vegas, Frank?
I wanted to shoot a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
And I was like ready to
I'm
do it.
down for that.
They let you
What?
go shoot a grenade
Frank is
launcher.
clearly the one that everyone
Yeah.
should be worried about here. He's legally not allowed to shoot
Only
a gun. I'm
50
given the
bucks.
opportunity. He
I'm-
wants a grenade launcher.
I'm
Come on.
seriously down to do that next time we go, Frankie.
Sign me up.
By the way, grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Where do you even do that?
You're all like, hey,
Yeah,
you guys
come
want
on.
to go get some veggie fried rice? I'm like, fuck that. We're going to go shoot a grenade launcher and we'll hook up with you later.
That is bizarre.
Actually,
Yeah,
what's funny about that is Frank is the one actually who wants to get the veggie fried rice. So
Yes.
he's
We'll
doing
do the
all,
fried
he's
rice.
asking all these.
Then we'll go get the grenade launcher.
No, let's do it. You got to inverse.
Oh, here's a fun one. Hello.
That wasn't a fun one?
Well, yeah. Hello, Mr. Crowned 15 times, but still uncrowned. With the final UFC championship fight being contested over the past weekend, over under 6.5 champions who lose their belts in 2025, assuming no champion vacates like Ilya, is suggesting moving up to 155. We're going to have a preview show for all of you, so maybe we can address this, but what do you guys think? Right now.
Save it.
All right,
Save this.
fine. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Get
Giving
the
away.
answer on the preview show that we do.
Okay.
We're gonna
Also,
do
will there be any holiday gift exchange? Secret Santa, White Elephant. What's White Elephant?
Isn't that secret?
Or you get
Santa?
the random gifts. Yeah.
Two
Isn't
different
that
things.
Secret Santa?
You
Secret
can
Santa.
get the gift and then you can trade it. And yada,
Oh,
yada.
white. Yeah, that's
We're
white.
still doing white elephants in 2024.
Andy was just doing one.
I talked to one of my friends who was like, I got a white elephant party. I'm busy. I was just like, in 2024, who's still doing it?
You're like, I'm going
this
to my book
economy?
club. I don't have time for your white elephant party.
I got to do the book club, okay?
Wow. I've never heard of White Elephant. I've heard of Secret Santa.
Really? White
Yeah.
Elephant.
It's the
I
same,
never heard
it's a
of
similar
it either.
concept, but you can trade them.
No,
that's the thing.
But you do a White Elephant, you know who's giving the gift.
Yes.
With Secret Santa, the point is that it's a secret.
All right.
You come to work and there's just.
Is there going to be one? I don't think. I mean,
the time has passed.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Great, perfect. Here's a fun one.
With you guys every day.
True North FFB. Shout out from Trav in Victoria, BC. Saw your ruthless 10-7 mastery of Jake Shields on Twitter. How do you find receipts so old? I mentioned it. People help me. It's great. Tell us about your process when you strap in to body these fools. Receipt pulling, video creation. I mean, I really can't take any credit. Really. How smitten are you when you've served one up good? Be honest. Appreciate you for representing Canada with such class, and it's been great watching you and the crew living the dream. Usually what happens is someone sends me stuff. I ask the guys back there, should I post it? They say no. I do it anyway. Is that a good?
That's
exactly.
Did we not coach you through the OG post yesterday, though?
That's usually what happens. Yeah.
That's
I'm
exactly.
like, well, guys, what do you think? What do you think? Don't do it. Don't do it. Take the high road. Don't
You
do
even
it.
come in saying, I'm not going to tell you because I say no.
When I was driving in today, I said, I'm not even going to bring this up. I'm going to go the complete opposite way.
And then you just
brought it up.
You just stir amongst yourself?
I just think. I
It's not
think.
healthy.
I'm sitting in traffic.
What do you guys think I should do today in the show? We're like, skip it. And he's like, I got bad news. I'm not going to skip it. And we're like, yeah, we knew, man.
Abe, hello, Ariel. I've come to the conclusion Belal's actually just not very bright. Jake Shields, however, bold-faced liar, knows exactly what he's doing. F that guy. All right. You said it, Bubba.
So he's saying that Jake Shields is the smarter one of the two?
I'm not really sure what he's saying. In any event, I do see I saw, did it go away?
Yeah, right?
Here's one from Jason, a super chat from Jason. Ariel, you go to CBC, you go to COB? What does COB stand for? Ariel, you go to COB to cover maybe? Cover, got it. The 2024 Summer Olympic Games in Paris this year, what was the major difference in covering the Summer Games versus the Winter Olympics in 2010? Well, when I was there in 2010 for AOL, and thank you so much, Jason, I wasn't working for a rights holder. I was working for AOL. So we couldn't shoot anything with the athletes. There's a ton of restrictions. This time around, I'm working for CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the gold standard, if you will, the public broadcaster. And the athletes are coming to us after their big moments. It was incredible. The access was amazing. I got there's one, when Summer McIntosh swam in her first race that she won the gold medal in, I think it was a Monday, they put me in like an influencer spot. And when they are walking out of the tunnel, you see me just standing there with my phone. I'm like, what am I doing here? Did I ever tell you guys the story when she won her first gold medal, which was a big deal? She's 17, she wins in swimming and all that stuff. And then I turned to my my colleague, my producer who was with me, Sarah, and I was like, okay, so when's the final? Like, I thought it was the semi. And they're all like, oh my God, she did it. And it was actually the gold medal race.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you did tell us that. That's a blunder.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough.
Um,
Which one was the real one there? I actually confused me.
It's tough. Figure it out.
There it is. Anyway, that was a great time, and hope to do it again. Perhaps in Milano in 2026, the Winter Olympic Games. Can't wait. All right, let us go and put a pin in the questions. We'll get to more of them in the third hour, so sit tight. For now, though, we have to say hello to royalty. We just saw this man compete on Saturday. He successfully defended his UFC flyweight title. What a scene it was, what a fight it was, what a performance it was, what a finish it was. His third successful title defense at 125 pounds, his 11th win at 125 pounds in the UFC, tying Demetrius Johnson and Joseph Benavidez, his 7th finish, tying Demetrius Johnson and Davison Figueiredo. He is the pride of Brazil and now Florida as well. He's the great Alexandre Pantoja. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Beleza, Ariel.
Obrigado, parabéns.
Obrigado. Yeah, thanks so much. That's I'm very happy for everybody did that. Everybody did that with me. I think I'm defend the UFC. I defend my whole universe. You have a part of that, and when you win together, it's much better, and that's why I think I'm the champion of the world, because everybody have like a one piece about that. Everybody like give me some energy to conclude the fight like that. I'm super glad about my performance. Everything's perfect.
We spoke before the fight, and you're very respectful. You're very classy. You always say the right things about Kai getting the title shot and about this challenge and all that stuff. And it was all fine. But then there was a video that was posted afterwards, Alex, of you coming back, and you said something like, "No rising champion's going to come out there and take my belt away." And then I was like, maybe he was a little bit fired up over this. Maybe he was a little bit annoyed. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course. And then you're right. And so I think that's why you try to take off me like you know. I see everybody watching the video about O'Malley. He posted that sparring with me like so many years ago, and then like he get me a down with a kick in my stomach, and then UFC found a good guy to do that. Like the best counter strike for flyweight in that moment. The guy knocked out everybody with the knee and the body, and he bring that for fight to me. I think like no, this guy's like a try to make a trap for me. Bring the Japanese and come here. No, that's why I try to like, put out. But I love to work for UFC. And when I defend this belt, I think I'm defending the whole UFC. Special all this stuff work there. Because a lot of people don't know who I'm talking about, but the guys work at the staff, like at the security guys, everyone. The cameras. I like to work for UFC. You know Pahumpa very well,
Yes.
and I follow Pahumpa all the time. And Pahumpa is such a nice guy, and talk to everyone. And I did the same. We come for the same place. And I think I'm the fan, not just for me, but for whole UFC. And then after the fight, I'm so like put everything out. That's my way. I don't like I hold something in my heart. But in the end of the day, I'm super happy because UFC gave me the opportunity to fight one night like that. Of course, I'm the co-main event, and then Belal have injury, and I'm still with the main event. I'm super happy for do that. I say I put something in my mind. Like thinking about how Anderson Silva did. Because the Spider Anderson Silva, he's that guy because in the exactly moment he defended his belt, everybody watching him, he doing something very exciting, something very special. And I think, I need to do something like that. That's my opportunity, the main event, and that's what I did. That's why I'm super focused. Don't smile anytime, like of course, after the fight, everything come out, but I'm still focused so much for that fight. I'm training so hard for don't make mistakes, because we seen when I fight to Taylor Chag, he hit me a lot. And with the Moreno too, and then I realized I'm a very good fighter. I did very well in the gym, I think for everyone in the American top team, it's not surprised about how good I finished that fight, because everybody watching the gym, I did that all the time. I'm training so hard. I feel I'm one of the best guys in the gym. And I say that because I'm very humble. Because but I feel that because I'm trained so hard. And that's it.
But so just to be clear, did you think, all this talk about first Japanese born champion and the Ryzen bosses there, Sakakibara, and there's maybe plans to go to Japan next year. Did you think that they wanted him to win?
I think nobody gonna complain. Like maybe for UFC, maybe he think it's gonna be nice if you have a Japanese fresh blood with the belt. You can make a lot of fights. Because I'm sorry, but I'm beat everybody. Like but I think right now what UFC gonna do is like put someone else. Like if you take the numbers, maybe it makes sense for Rival, because he come for the two fights. He beat Moreno and Taira, but I already beat him. Like in my title fights, I I completely domination rival for 5 rounds. You know.
Mhm. I felt, Alex, like you were, sometimes people grow into being champion. And I felt last week there was a different vibe about you. There was a different aura. The hair was different, the clothes, the chain, the all black. Like you looked mean. You looked like you were there for business. You looked like a champion. Not to suggest that you didn't look that way in the past, but there was something different about you. Like you knew you were the man. This is my belt. No one's taking it away. I felt that confidence oozing out of you. Is that a fair description of how you were feeling?
Of course, you're right. I think when you ask me what changed when you get the belt, I think that changed. I'm start to learn how to be a UFC champ. Like I know I'm good fighter. I know that, but I know more about what the company need me. Like I never imagined it get that position before. And then I have that position. I figured out I need like I put that close just for go out of the bus, something like that, for
Ah,
1 minute, but like I know I'm the main event, that's very important, I needed that. And when I fight with Moreno for the first time, I don't cut my hair. I still with my old stuff, because I think if I want this belt, I'm gonna want this belt like I'm did every time, I'm not gonna change, something like that. But of course, now I see I need to look more nice for the cameras and for everybody. Uh, I'm not like a metrosexual guy. Not like that. I'm very clean. I'm from Brazil. Of course, but like you know, I use more cologne to stay with my wife in house. Like something like that. Like, it's
I,
just for that. But I'm super happy. Ariel. I think my mindset go very well because I say that I feel like I Elvis Presley. I come to Las Vegas and did like the main event, the show of the night, and then my second mindset is like a did like Anderson Silva. Enjoy my moment. And I think all that is connection. For go there, very you can see in my face. My walking. I look to my wife and don't change my face. I look to my kids and keep my face like that. Like and then after the fight I can smile again, but like I see a very focused and very calm. I feel so comfortable. I'm training so hard all the time. Everything is a training, the way I go to the octagon, the way I'm circle around of the octagon, everything I did that in the training is 100 times, for that fight. And then I feel like so relaxed for that moment and enjoy. I feel like I'm training in America Top Team. I feel like I'm sparring, and I think that's a very dangerous combination for me when I'm very very focused and very calm, In the locker room, maybe I'm asleep for a couple minutes, and then Pahumpa say, "No, I know you like to be calm, but like you too much, Let's shake it, let's shake."
and so when you were thinking about the fight, like we had Demetrius Johnson on the show, and I'm going to ask you about him in a moment, but he said like when he heard that this fight was going to be made and announced, he knew exactly that you were going to win via submission, given Kai Sakura's style and how he fights, and maybe that he hasn't quite been there before and whatnot. Did you feel the same type of confidence? Did you think you've talked in the past, you have to go 25 minutes, you have to stay in there for 75 minutes total with all these guys. Did you feel like this would be maybe a bit of a shorter night for you?
I respect Kai Sakura a lot. I put him in the very huge level. And I know he have a very a lot knockout power, and that's making me training very well about don't get hit. And I think I'm involved with that process. But he right, Demetrio. I think everybody can call that about the submission. But of course, I can make a mistake, then the fight's over, But I think Demetri Johnson's a goat. That's why he get the belt for so many years, because he key eye level is so hard, and yeah, I do the right way. I think that I did the right way, but I never figured out, I never, because if I go to the fight with something like that in my mind, and I can did that, maybe it's gonna be trouble for me. I just go to the fight and enjoy.
Do you think this is a guy that you will see again? Does he have, that was his debut, and sometimes you have to fight guys multiple times. Do you think he is good enough to work his way back up and be in a title fight again?
I really want to see him fight with the guys from that division. That's very nice fighter. I think everybody wants to that challenger right now. But for right now, I don't think so. Because I show everybody how you can beat him. And then I realized very quick when I started the John Jones kick and the knee. I think that's open a window for everyone. I break Kaya Sakura with that kick. And a lot of guys can use. And the how I finish him I think I see a lot of guys in the UFC rank can do that the same thing with him.
I felt from watching it that there was a big size difference. Like this is a big boy. He fights at bantamweight historically. A couple fights way back in the day at flyweight. Obviously, it wasn't an issue for you, but did you feel like he was much bigger than some of the other guys you fought at flyweight?
That's why I tell to him when I make the face off in the wings, I look to him and say, "You don't look so big," and then, but yeah, he looked big, but I don't feel the stretching. I don't feel. I train with a very good guys here, and especially for that fight, I train with a lot of bantamweights. And we have, about the America Top Team. We have so many good fighters here, and I really I don't feel the power, and for that cut weight, one of the best. I feel I'm growing like a professional too. I'm very good fighter. I'm better athlete right now and very professional. I, I live my best moment. And I tell that because I can realize in my mind. I can feel that. I can feel that. And I don't know if you see I record. I post something in my Instagram talking about it's not just better good fighter. I'm not just involved like a fighter. I'm involved like a man, and that was connection with that. I tell you, I feel I'm involved like a man, like a husband, like a father, and that's I'm better fighter right now. It's always in connection. And I can realize something like that. Finish Sakura in 2 rounds, and I really think it's gonna be. I can do that again and again and again.
Did you plan to mention Demetrius Johnson after the fight, or did that just happen?
The only thing I imagine is that if I finish a Sakura, I need to call Demetrius because I never I don't want to disrespect him, but I think after that finish, I earned that call. Because before that, I think it's I never close about Demetrius Johnson. He's so high, the level is so high. But after finish a Sakura like that, I think I'm earned that position to call him to fight. But I'm understand if he don't want. I very huge respect. But I see he training right now, and I don't know. Maybe that's happening.
We did have him on the show on Monday, and maybe you've seen the clip, but I just wanted to play for you his response and then get your response to his response, okay?
Of course.
Here it is, Demetrius Johnson.
It was a good fight by Alex Pantoja and Kai Asakura. And was I a little surprised that he called me out? A little bit because, one thing when people, if you know who I am and you know me as a person outside of the cage, when I say I'm going to do something, I mean it 1,000%. I'm not a guy, I'm black and white. It's either I'm in or I'm out. And when I said my black ass is retired, everybody out there, I don't sell false dreams. I don't sell wolf tickets. I don't sell none of that bullshit. My black ass is not coming back.
So there you have it. He said, and he continued to expand on that. Do you believe him? Do you really think he is done?
Yeah, he looked very true.
Yes.
Yeah, and
he said no money in the world could bring him back as well.
No, yeah, I think he don't need money too. It's not about money. But that's someone because I think I just need training with him. Maybe training is
Oh, that'd
that's
be great.
something I want to, yeah, because I'm training with Cejudo. I train with Kyoji Gucci, Adriano Moraes. I fight with a lot of good fighters, Moreno, Rival, and all their guys. And that's something I have, that dream I have in my life. Fight with the best fighters of the world. The Demetri Johnson is one of he's the best one. The way how he did, the mindset, how he had the key to the victory. He so smart. And I want to like a challenger me for that. That's why I'm fighting. That's why I never say no for fight with anybody. And I feel maybe I'm text him and we can train together.
That would be fun. I saw him yesterday. He was training with Khabib and Islam. I don't know if you saw that. So
I saw too.
yeah, people are like, "Oh, is he training for a comeback?" But I even asked him that, by the way.
Yeah.
There he is with the whole
Yeah.
team. He said, "No, he's just there to help out a little
Yeah.
bit."
That is amazing crew. Yeah. That guy is training so hard. Yeah. We have a couple Russians here in America Top Team. We have Armand too. And all the guys training so hard. That's very good for very good example for us, like a very good for pushing. Not just the guys, we have the Japanese, the Kazakhstan. I love training America Top Team. Like I always I have like different challengers here and make me grow so much. And because I say that in some interviews, the UFC buy the wrong Japanese because we have the Kyoji Gucci.
Yes.
And that Origuchi is so good, brother.
Oh, he is unbelievable. Obviously, we saw that fight back in the day as well between DJ and Kyoji in Montreal. Another win for DJ, but Horiguchi is one of the greatest of all time. Could I just ask, in your mind, how does a fight against Demetrius play out? Have you thought about it? How do you think it actually plays out?
He need to move a lot, but like I know 100% I can hold him. I know he shake very well. He very good with the counter strikes, and then I train with Kyoji. But like I think right now I have so much stretching, so much power, and I can use my jiu-jitsu a lot. He have a brown belt jiu-jitsu. He improved a lot. He jiu-jitsu and. But I don't know. I have very strong hand too. I don't know if you saw in the first round with Asakura, I make a flash down, with my left hook. The same hook I make the Brandon Moreno down. I did the same with Asakura. A lot of people don't see that because it's super fast. But I think I can prove myself. I'm feel I'm the best flyweight right now. Maybe tomorrow I think it's not like that, but right now today I feel I'm the best one.
Yeah, it would be incredible. It doesn't sound like he wants to come back, and that leads us to start thinking like, who could you fight? Because you have beaten all these guys, and to me, it's come down to three names, and so I want to get your take on these names. Number one, probably the most realistic one is Kai Kara-France, who you already beat on The Ultimate Fighter, but it seems
too many times. Yeah, it's like a different, all different. I'm different. He's different.
So are you interested in that one?
Oh yeah, I think for now that's the fight more makes sense.
You think he's the one that is the most realistic in the UFC?
But the true, because he come for in last 3 fights he lost twice. But for now, after what I did in the my division, I think everything is not make sense anymore. I fight with the top 10. I fight with the number 1, number 2, top 10. Then you bring someone else. I think everybody have a chance right now.
Okay, so he's one option. I think a lot of people would like to see it. Yes, they bring Steve Erceg, who wasn't really in the top 10. So
very
who
nice
knows?
fight. Kara-France is very excited fight. That's someone you're gonna bring me to another level, of course.
The other name is an undefeated fighter who was in the UFC, but then left the UFC, and that's Mohamed Mokaev. Do you want to see them bring him back to be a challenger?
I think it's a very good name too. Something is never I think I don't know what's happened, but like he's a very good fighter. He proved himself with the Manel Cape. It's a boring fight, of course. No, but I think for me right now, fight with a good grappler, that's okay. I think it's good for me. I think maybe fight with like a Kaya Sakura, good stance in wrestling, but I break him. And good striking, maybe it's danger for me, but he's good too. But Mokaev, of course, is something somewhere else. I want to fight. I need to fight with him. Yeah, he's on the feet. He did everything very well. I think UFC can make this happen in the future. I hope I'm fighting to everybody, because I want to keep this belt.
Okay, now here's maybe the most potentially realistic and exciting one. And it's one that's come up today. I don't know if you saw this, but the former champion, Davison Figueiredo, he said he'll go down from 35. He had some comments. These are translated. Since Pantoja is looking for someone, I think I'm the best option. I'm available, man. In my entire career in the UFC, I only missed weight once. If I have to make weight, I'll go there and fulfill my commitment. And our first fight wasn't easy for Pantoja. It was a 3-round fight, and I certainly won all 3. What do you think about a rematch against Davison Figueiredo?
I want that too. That's one of the fights I want to be, because he of course he beat me one time, and I know 100% I can beat him. That's like but it's gonna be like a danger for UFC. Put him to make a weight right now. Maybe he danger for Figueiredo to try to do that right now. Because his body just changed. He just go to the bantamweight and go very well in the bantamweight. He just lose to Pettis, his former champ. Amazing fight. I'm watching the fight, and I think if he Figueiredo believe a little bit more, he can beat him Pettis. But I think he feel the pressure to fight with a former champ. He traveled to China, and Pettis is the same hour for Russia. For Thailand. He very close. I think all that connection. And Figueiredo do it very well. Figueiredo is a monster, brother. That's why his name is a God of War.
Yeah.
And that's fight. I really make me excited too. Yeah. I don't know if it makes sense, but like I say, in my division right now, nothing makes sense. You can bring him maybe.
And that speaks to your dominance. If you had to pick of those 3, who do you pick? Who's number 1? Rank them for us.
I think it's that. It's that. Kai Kara-France is the only one in the UFC in my division. And then Mokaev is not UFC in the roster right now. Of course, I know UFC talked with him about bringing his back. And Figueiredo come out with one loss. Everything can happen. Does nothing make sense right now. But I think I'm ready to UFC give me Kai Kara-France. The guy. This fight is maybe can make a good numbers in pay-per-view. He have a huge fans in Asia.
Okay.
But I don't go to Australia.
Yeah, no, I understand that. You're the champ. And it does seem like you're starting to get a little bit more respect, although your friend Gilbert Burns has said you need to be higher up on the rankings. As far as the UFC rankings are concerned, Alex, here they are. You're 9th. You're tied for 9th with Leon Edwards. How do you feel about this as far as pound-for-pound rankings are concerned? Is this accurate? Is this fair?
Ariel, this is something I really want, and I think that's a God plan for me with that. Something like and I like it. I like everything God did in my life. I'm like I just say thank you. Because maybe you see I'm talking with that about that before. That's something very important for me, man. I don't know if another fights think the same way. Maybe it's just the numbers, but for me, this is something. Right now I can realize I can be the best fighter of the world. This is making me so happy. And this is something I want. And the guys give me a number 9. Thank you. Thank you. You're gonna keeping me, pushing me like that. I want that. You know me, Ariel. That's like my mindset's like that. I'm not like to say excuse and don't like blah 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 for that guys. I just keep my work and That's it. That's all about me. I really know that what I say. That's something I want. I go high. I want to be the number one. And I know a fight like that. I did in Saturday. With a beautiful performance, can give me a better number.
Sure.
But the guy give me a 9. That's okay. 9 is a good number.
Yeah, it's okay number, but I want to let you know here on our show, our site, Uncrowned, we have more respect for you, Alex, because these are our rankings, and you see right over there, you're number 5 here. Okay, so just
That's good.
remember, who has your
Good.
back. Moved up 6 spots, Alex. That has to look better for you, right?
No, it looks super better. I agree with you. I can see again.
Oh, yeah, put it up again one more time. These are the top 5s. Islam 1, Pereira
Yeah.
2, Ilya 3, John Jones, and then you. What's that
I
like?
love to put him, brother. I love to put him, and that's some. I'm a huge fan. He fights so well. He do like a El Matador. It's so nice.
So
And
you agree with
yeah,
that?
of course, I will 100%. Maybe my next victory, I go to number 3. I don't know.
Do you
But
have...
that's what I want. I want to fight. I don't want like a stay too many time without fight. I planned myself maybe to fight in April here in Miami. That's my town. You already know.
Yeah.
But I talk with my wife, my coach. I'm very clear about that. I don't know if fight here is gonna be good for me because I love so much that place. I feel so good here. I don't know if I can like separate two things. Like living here. I'm happy in that place. I don't know if I can like separate fighting and leave. Like maybe in the week of the fight, I'm like don't realize everything. Fight week and all that. But I think I need that one right now. I go to Brazil, fight in Rio. That's my town, my neighborhood. I have my mom, my first master there. And then main event in Las Vegas. That's huge. And maybe right now I'm ready for come to Miami and did my show here. I have a very good people on my side here. I got a lot of friends. I love to go to the soccer practice with my kids, and then all the daddies and moms and friends of my kids want to see that fight here.
Yeah.
And all my friends, a lot of friends here, and everybody, in the gym, and maybe I can do that, but like I need like to get out first.
By the way, there's there's a lot of people out there who are getting to learn more about your kids. I love the relationship that they have with Gilbert, like seeing them next to Gilbert, and then they come in the ring, and then we got to see them on Embedded, and one of your sons actually predicted second round submission. This one, I don't know if it was the older one or the younger one.
Yeah, the older one. The younger say sushi and anime.
Yeah. But good.
I feel so good with that, Ariel, because that week my kids like I can like yeah. Yeah, I love that.
As you're cutting weight, your kids are there. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I did see he talk with the cameras, but he feel very comfortable with the cameras too. The guy film is Felipe for Embedded, and he did that 4 times with us. He part of the team, and my feels feel very freedom to talk with him, and my kids grow me so much. And that week, the fight week, my kids do all the process with me. And then like he talk a lot with my coaches. They make a jokes. My kids make a jokes with my coach, Parrupinha and Macarrão, all laughs. That's super good for me. The opportunity to do that for my kids. My kids see all the process, go to the fight, go to the cut weight, make interviews, and you see how my kids does like he speak like he really believe in his dad. And
I love it.
You know about me. I'm super humble. I'm not cocky guy. I never did that. But my kids like no, my dad gonna win. Like that's amazing for me.
It's the greatest feeling. And they speak very well. They're very confident. They're very sure of themselves. It's a beautiful thing. I want to just throw out one more suggestion, and then I'll let you go. If they need to let the division play itself out, get some contenders. Maybe you up 135 Sean O'Malley. We figure this one out. What do you think of that?
a BMF for the lightweight
we
division.
figure it out. We all the talk about the sparring now we figure it out once and for all.
You know, O'Malley is so dumb guy because because he now he says some good about myself. I don't know. I don't see everything, but he say I do it very well, and blah blah blah. But you know, if he posts that video, why he did post everything? You know, he's so stupid because he did that. You know, if you not don't post anything. You know, it's my word versus your word, but don't make just your take. You know. And about that, Ariel, I know I can finish him. You know, I'm not like a very big guy, but I know I have a big heart, and I know I can beat him. You know, but now he's not getting more the belt. And if you ask me who's Sean O'Malley, I don't know who's him.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it was a great scene. Everyone in the cage afterwards, your family, you and Alex Pereira together. It's just amazing to see you being celebrated like this, and amazing to see everyone show you the respect that you deserve. There it is. Yeah, you and Alex saying the Shama with the legend Joinho and Ed Soares. Everyone, that maybe the most interesting man in the world with the mustache and the beard. George Guimarães, one of my favorite people.
Is so nice. Yeah, brother. I love to work with him, learn with him. 5 fights ago, maybe for 5 years, I don't know. I go to UFC and join with in my side in the bus, go together to arena and say, I feel so amazing because I have you in my side. You know, you the guy walk with Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, and then I'm here. You know, and then I figure out I know I'm good because you in my side. You know, and he's so a nice guy. You know, I'm a huge fan to Joinha lifestyle. He's some very special guy. Ed Soares too. I learned a lot to Ed about the business. You know, I understand the business. You know, I'm not gonna say, hey, UFC pay more for me. Not like that. You know, he showed me the another way. He flipped the coin, showed me the another face about the business and everything. My team is so incredible. You know, these guys, Parrumpa, Macarrão, my wife, you know, my kids, America top team, you know. I figured out there's no way, you know, that's why I'm the champion.
Amazing. You're a champion in the cage and in life as well. And it's great to see you have a great team around you. Congratulations once again, Alex. Really appreciate the time. Enjoy the holidays. And thank you for coming on. It's always great to have you on.
When you need, I'm here, brother. I love to talk with you.
Thank you.
We know everybody, brothers, ball.
Yes, I love it.
See you, brother.
Take care. There he is, the great Alexandre Pantoja, the reigning defending UFC flyweight champion. What a guy. I didn't get into the whole Rick Glazing thing because, you know, we were short on time, but he knows. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he's seen it all. He's read it all. He's well aware of the fan that Rick is of him. Okay, I teased at the top of the show, special announcement, breaking news announcement, some information on a new MMA promotion coming out. And so now here is the time. Here is the time to learn more. And we've got a lot of information coming your way. So sit back, relax, strap on your seatbelt. It was almost exactly 3 years ago today. Would you believe it? 3 years ago today, December 8th, 2021. Today is December 11th, 2024. On December 8th, 2021, on the old MMA Hour program, we had a gentleman named Darren Owen on the show, and he announced a lot of information regarding the World Fight League. You may recall in September of 2021, on the Substack, we wrote a whole bunch of stuff about this new promotion coming out. Well, then he came on 3 months later and laid out all the plans and told us that the plan was in February of 2023 for it to officially launch. I think the date off the top of my head was February 5th, 2023. Well, that date has come and gone, but now he is coming back, and he is here to talk about the launch of the Global Fight League. They've got the plans, they've got the dates, they've got the venues, they've got the fighters. It appears to all be coming together. And so without further ado, let us say hello once again to Darren Owen. There he is. Hello, Darren. Hello again. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you.
Good to have you back. It's been amazingly 3 years to the day that you were last on with us. And on that day, we talked about the World Fight League. Today, you are here to announce a whole host of things, and the plans have changed just a little bit. Obviously, the dates have come and gone, but I want to give the floor to you to announce what you want to announce.
Yeah, thanks, Ariel. Appreciate it very much. In September, we secured our seed round of financing to actually launch the league. Lots of things have obviously changed over the last few years. A lot of things are obviously still the same as far as what we're looking to do, as far as the format, the structure, and all of that. And we're ready now. So we've got venues booked, we've got fighters signed, and it's go time.
Okay, so and it is the Global Fight League, yes?
Yeah. So our trademark, that was obviously a number of things kind of happened over the years, but shortly after it came on your show, the trademark got challenged in Europe, World Fight League. So that prompted the change to Global Fight League. That was a bit of a process. And then just kind of getting everything that needed to be in place before we really started to sign any fighters. And it just took a lot longer. It took significantly longer to raise the necessary funds to launch. And it's been a grind, but never quit, never give up, just kept moving forward. Dream never died, vision never stopped. So thrilled to finally be underway in operation and ready to go.
And so is that part of the reason why, when we spoke in 2021, you said that the plan was February of 2023. Why did that date come and go?
The funding wasn't in place. That's pretty much what it came down to. And, I think it's somewhat of a blessing in disguise. I think we're in a lot better position now, just as far as the industry goes. I've brought on a legitimate team of non-MMA individuals that have experience across all the major professional sports leagues. So, the idea was there, the passion and motivation was there, but, a lot of the fundamentals that needed to be in place to launch a league at the level we were planning to do it just weren't all in place at that time. And it just took a little more time to get to where we needed to be.
I asked you 3 years ago about the backing, and so you've alluded to some of the people who are backing this venture. And I don't want to call it a promotion because you corrected me last time that it's not a promotion. It's more of an organization, and the structure is more akin to a professional sports league, if you will. Could I ask about who is behind this? Obviously, we know you're the founder, you're the face of it all, but who is actually behind this?
Our main investors are tech entrepreneur out of Silicon Valley. He's our partner on our app we're launching with the league. That's our big financer. We've had some other, friends and family people help out along the way, but for the most part, that was the one we were waiting for to kind of fill up that round to really just have everything we needed to launch and do it the right way.
And can I ask specifically who that is?
I don't know if he wants his actual name out there. Yeah, I don't think he wants his name.
Okay.
Announced.
Some people do, some people don't. But
yeah, so I've told a couple people, and then ultimately what happens is everyone starts hitting him up and trying to sell him X, Y, and Z. So just not interested in.
Totally understand. Totally understand. Okay, so what is it? What is the Global Fight League?
So we're launching 6 global teams, 4 different continents. And we're launching our proof of concept season starting in April. We have multiple venues booked in multiple different cities around the world. We're embracing our flexibility to begin with and doing that 50-50 revenue share, the team versus team, proof of concept season, and it's finally lined up. We have 300 fighters signed as of right now. Our draft is January 24th. On those 6 teams, there's 20 athletes per each roster, so we'll sign 120 of the actual fighters that have signed, and then we'll get underway with events in April.
Okay, so there's a lot there. Can I ask, where are the 6? When you say teams, if you can specify what that is, and where are they located?
So we're not announcing the teams yet. We're going to announce the teams, the names, and the logos early in the new year.
Okay.
We have like 10 different cities booked. So what's kind of been happening is we announced to some of the fighters and managers some of the locations. We are kind of being counter-programmed venue-wise. So we're kind of just keeping everything quiet until our whole season is locked in and ready to be announced.
Countered by who?
Just some of the venues that we had talked to or booked by other big promotions.
Okay.
So almost theoretically, we're kind of blocked out of some locations, so we didn't want to go out and announce where we're going.
Understood. How many fighters are on each team?
20.
20 fighters.
10 weight categories, 2 fighters per each weight category. So each team will have a set of teammates in each of the 10 weight categories. So 7 men's weight divisions, 3 women's weight divisions.
And so I'm assuming heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, featherweight, bantamweight. So are we just staying at bantamweight? Okay.
Correct.
And then is it 115, 125, 135 for women?
No. So what we're doing, we really want to eliminate extreme weight cutting and obviously, tackle as many of the issues as we realistically can. So our weight divisions are not historically how they are. So like our bantamweight is 145, featherweight's 155. So everything kind of goes up by 10 pounds. Middleweight's 200, light heavyweight's 225.
Oh.
And then our 3 women's divisions, it's 120, 130, 140.
Wow. And is that okay with the commissions? Like, because the unified rules of MMA kind of state that those should be the numbers, like 115, 125, 135.
Yeah, either we'll just do everything as a catch weight and we're just calling it the GFL weight categories are going to remain the historical weight categories. So if a fighter's been a welterweight their entire career, they'll be a GFL welterweight. However, they'll weigh in at 180 instead of 170.
Okay. And I'm assuming the teams are like, the Los Angeles, just throwing a name out there, like the Los Angeles.
Major global cities around the world.
Yeah. Do I have to be a Los Angeles-based fighter to be? No, it's just anyone.
Yeah, just like how every other major professional sport is, you're going to have athletes from anywhere in the world competing on those teams. We are going to have head coaches. We've signed some, world-class head coaches to coach these teams. We're not forcing the athletes to move and relocate or anything like that. We're giving them the ability to, hey, if you want to move to, let's just say LA, and let's just say train with Rafael Cordero as our head coach, you have the ability to do that. If you want to stay wherever you live and train with your head coach, we're not looking to, change any of those bonds that have existed for years and years between fighter and coach.
And then when the fight happens, are you allowed to be coached by your own team or do you have to be coached by the team assigned?
So, yeah, you're coached by your own team. And same thing, if you want an extra, that head coach in your corner or pre-event helping strategize or whatever, giving any input, they're there and available for that. If that's not something you're interested in as an athlete, you don't have to take advantage of that if you don't want to. Okay.
And so you mentioned about 300 fighters signed?
Yeah.
But there's a draft coming up and only, forgive me, 120 or 120 are going to be selected. So what happens to the other 180?
Free agents. They're currently free agents now. So
Okay.
we've put promotional agreements in place. Them signing our agreement allows them draft eligibility. So that means essentially we know what their purse amount is, we know what their revenue share percentage is, and if we come to terms, then they're eligible. Their exclusivity window doesn't start until February 1st, so we haven't prevented any fighters from taking any fights. And if they're not selected to a team and they won't be a roster GFL athlete, they're free to do whatever they want, like they've always have been.
Are you prepared to announce any of the fighters that are a part of this 300 or so fighter pool?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is the good stuff. What do we got? Who do we got?
We got names. Luke Rockhold, Tyrone Woodley, Vanderlei Silva, Anthony Pettis, Kevin Lee, Frank Mir, Fabricio Verdum, Junior Dos Santos. We've got Hector Lombard, Benson Henderson. There you go.
All right, so these are some of the top 50. Woodley, Verdum, Pettis, Alexei Oleinik, JDS, Hector Lombard, Luke Rockhold, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Vanderlei Silva, Alex Gustafsson, the former UFC title contender. There's more. Thiago Santos, Andre Arlovski, Lucas Martins, Gabriel Souza, Kevin Lee, Frank Mir, B. Nguyen, Charles Rosa, Alan Belcher. These are of the top 50 followed. Ilya Latifi, Jeremy Stevens, Marlon Moraes, Benson Henderson. All these guys, Gegard Mousasi, all these guys are on board.
All these guys are signed.
And there's more. Greg Hardy and Rafael Carvalho and Lance Palmer and Bubba Jenkins and Phil Hawes, Robles Despine, Marcus Perez. Is there more?
There's more.
That's all we have. But there is more. There is more. And so when they say, like, those guys are all, like, you draft them, they're in.
Yep.
Wow. That's, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, it's expensive to have those names.
Yep.
But you guys, you have the funding, you're ready to go.
We're funded. We're 100% ready to launch. Everything's in line that needed to be in line. We've waited as long as we needed to wait to get to this point, and now it's time. You know, our funding came in September, so since then it's been go time, put everything into place, and here we are.
So you mentioned the schedule. Can you tell us when do you expect to start?
April.
April. Do you have a date locked in?
We have 4 dates locked in April, and then just depending on, you know, there's some big names still out there that we're talking to, and we obviously want to set ourselves up in the best position to launch and, you know, figure all that out. But we have multiple venues booked in different cities, and then based on the teams and the matchups, we'll decide where it's the most logical to launch first and how many events in which cities.
So today you're not going to announce dates, venues, etc.
No.
Okay.
Just April start.
That's
when our season starts.
Big question, obviously, is how can people watch this? And usually the success of an organization, a league, a promotion, is tied to their rights deal, their TV rights deal,
100%.
their streaming rights deal. Do you have one secured?
We have the ability to stream on our own platform. So that's first and foremost. Is if we don't secure the necessary deal with the right partner, then we have the ability to do all that on our own. If the right deal does come along with the right partner that it does make sense, then we'll take that deal. So it's either the bird in the hand, or we'll take the two in the bush with taking all the profits ourselves from our own app.
Are you close to securing something with a streaming platform or a broadcast network?
We've had kind of early conversations. The plan was to obviously kind of like break the news, announce all the fighters that we have signed. Those are obviously the valuable assets. It's the collection of those names and their following and their careers and what they've done. And this is just the platform to give them, you know, something to showcase their, you know, what they do and their skill set. But January is the plan to have actually all those official meetings and pitches and see how it goes from there.
When does the app launch?
When the league launches.
Okay.
So we're same in conjunction with the league launch.
So if you don't secure a deal that you like, you guys are prepared to air this on your app. It's a lot of money being left on the table. No, I mean, you can make a significant amount of money from a deal. Are you comfortable with that?
If the deal makes sense, 100% we're going to take it. You know, if one of these major streaming providers come out and say like, hey, we know how valuable live sports content is. We see the value in a global league where you have fighters from all over the world that have their own following. And, you know, you saw what Tyson and Jake Paul just did as far as numbers go. So the fact that, you know, this is about, you know, securing the most popular fighters in the world, giving them a logical platform to perform on, and obviously see what the best deal is. We're obviously looking to secure the most revenue, and however we do that, the benefit is every fighter benefits from any revenue we bring in. So come January 24th, we're going to have 120 salespeople that are also pushing to help this drive and you know, as they are true equitable partners with the league.
I remember when we first spoke, you told me that there'll be owners for each team. But now that you mentioned the investor, have plans changed? Is it just like, is everyone owned by one entity?
Starting off as a single entity,
Okay.
It was just honestly too difficult to try to get 8 individuals to participate, to get on the same page. Nobody wanted to be the first team to buy in. You know, we have some LOIs in place with a couple different individuals who want to buy a team, have committed to buying a team, but we're at a place now where we don't need that funding. And we believe that if we do this ourselves and execute the way we're confident that we can, we're only going to drive the revenue or the value of these teams up and then take them to market when we've established, a proof of concept season and, just we're selling something that's way more valuable than just an idea.
So can you break down how it all works, like with the season and the playoffs and the points and all that stuff? Because that's a little different as well.
Yeah. So as far as the season, with all the venues and everything we have, we have what we are planning to do, and we're just kind of putting that all into place with all the different venues. It's a fairly complicated, global schedule to put together. We're being flexible in the fact that wherever these home city teams are, we're not necessarily hosting all of the events in those cities. So like how the NFL has games in London and Brazil, we'll be doing the same thing. So you could see 2 US-based teams competing in Tokyo, Stockholm, wherever.
Okay. And then it's like a point system, right? With playoffs and all that?
Yeah. So how the point system works, fairly simple. There's 4 points available for every fight. 4 points for the finish win, 3 points for decision win, 2 points for a draw, 1 point for decision loss, and 0 points if you get finished.
Okay. And then it's just basically like standings at that point.
Yeah. So the total accumulative at the end of the regular season, they're bracketed in the playoffs, and you just run out the bracket that we're all so used to.
Do all 6 teams make the playoffs?
No, top 4.
Okay. And 3 years ago, I had mentioned to you that just being candid that, I don't feel like the team format works in combat sports. I said it to you back then. I feel just the exact same way now. In fact, perhaps I feel even stronger. I know PFL isn't team, but this type of format with the standings and whatnot is sort of like the PFL. And we saw the team format with the IFL. I'll ask you again, why am I wrong here? Why is this going to work? Because I feel like it's about rivalries. It's about stories. I don't feel like the team system and format works in mixed martial arts. Why am I wrong?
Well, I think you just said it right there with rivalries and stories. So the fact that we're able to create unique storylines that have never existed in the sport. And that's, one thing that we keep hearing is, everyone loves the sport of MMA, but the storylines are often not there. Where this brings is, the talking points, are these 2 fighters going to be teammates, or are they going to potentially be fighting? And, just different strategies that come in, different betting elements that come in. Just that, like, the number one driver in sports fandom, proven, is cheering for your favorite team. Favorite teams have never really existed in the sport of MMA. So we're just creating what already exists, and you see it across all the major professional leagues in the world. And this is just the implementation of that team-based league model for the 3rd most popular sport in the world. And the fact that we have these popular athletes who people already are emotionally invested in, or know their name, or know their story and their background, I think that's going to be the difference maker with us. Is, we're going to have wild matchups that people wouldn't expect to see. But also, we're going to have the best global top prospects available and having them competing as well. So you're going to have this contrast of, established veterans, that household MMA names that people recognize, but then we're also going to showcase the next generation of up and coming talent from all around the world.
A lot of the new fans may not remember the IFL. I certainly do. Can you tell me why this is different than the IFL?
Yeah, number one, just the structure of it. So IFL, again, was a promotion. They operated as such. They also didn't go all in on their team versus team. There would often be 3 or 4 fights from one gym versus another gym, and then they would have super fights or featured fights. So it wasn't an all in on the team versus team. I also think that the time of where the world was when the IFL originally launched. But I think they were onto something. I've talked to a lot of guys who were part of the IFL, and they loved it. They loved the concept. They loved the idea. So this is, in some way, just a different way of doing that, but going all in on the actual way to what I believe to do it, and to do it right.
And the economics,
also the revenue shares is right. I think are game changer.
Okay, and so and that's 50%.
Correct. So whatever revenue we receive, whether it's media rights deals, sponsorships, ticket sales, all of that, 50% goes into the fighter revenue pool from that specific event. And then those fighters that are on that event are the ones who share in that revenue percentage. And obviously every fighter is not equal. So every negotiation is their base guaranteed pay. We also have a win increase. So we don't do the show win, half your money here, half your money there. It's hey, this is what you're getting, worst case scenario to show up and do your job. And if you're successful, the next time you show up, your pay increases. So your guarantee increases. And athletes get paid either or, whatever's greater, their guaranteed amount or their revenue share percentage. So someone might have a $50,000 guaranteed purse, and they earn 1% revenue share. But if there's 10 million in that revenue pool for that event, then they're going to receive 100,000 instead of what they were thinking was 50,000.
Can fighters wear sponsors?
No.
Okay.
However, they get 50% of all of our sponsorship revenue. So by, keeping exclusive sponsorships on our uniforms and everything else, we're obviously going to increase the value of that to as much as we can possibly get and share all of that with the athletes as well.
Are you guys going to do pay-per-view?
Yet to be seen. Everything's kind of open and right now. We have the ability to go pay-per-view. We have the ability to do subscription on our app, or we'll take a deal if it's there and if it makes sense.
Are you going to be like the face, the for lack of a better example, the Dana White of the organization? Are you the guy that's going to be standing there facing people off, or is there another face?
It'll be me for now.
Okay. Last time when we spoke, you said February 5th, you had the date and all that. Can you say definitively this is launching in April of 2025?
Yeah, we needed the money. It's finally there. That was kind of the thing holding us back before. We had a lot of momentum. We had a lot of support. We were having a lot of conversations. I was, if you asked me at the time, what are the chances you think you're going to get the funding in? I probably would have said 99%. And I've eaten some humble pie over the past few years to just really set this thing up in a way where we can't fail.
Okay. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about?
Retirement, revenue share, or insurance funds. That's the other thing. I'd love to let it be known that we're including a retirement element and insurance fund for all of our athletes as well.
Okay. And so is it like a percentage goes into this pot?
Yep.
How does it work?
Yeah. So whatever their total pay is for that fight, 8% is contributed to their retirement fund and 2% is contributed to their insurance fund. And then they have the ability to choose whether they want their own private insurance or however they want to use those funds.
Okay. How many events in 2025?
We'll let you know.
Okay. All right. And exclusive contracts? Like once it kicks in, once you're drafted, you're fighting for you guys.
Yep.
But everyone's deal is different. One guy can have X amount, X years, whatever it is.
Yeah, like everyone's different as far as their purse amount, their percentage amount. Some fighters are interested in having only 2 fights in a season. Some want to be as active as possible. So there's a few different elements to it, but for the most part, it's everyone's been super supportive and excited to finally get this underway.
All right. Well, congratulations. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for sharing all of this with us. We mentioned 2 names that are going to be joining us in a matter of seconds. That's Anthony Pettis and Kevin Lee. For now, though, again, thank you. Congrats. And to a degree, I also say good luck because, now the fun really starts. Now you're about to launch into outer space. So we will be watching and covering and seeing how it all unfolds. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, Ariel. Always appreciate you.
All right, there he is, Darren Owen, the founder of the Global Fight League. And in a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by the aforementioned Anthony Pettis and Kevin Lee, 2 of the fighters of the many that we just showed who are apparently tied to this Global Fight League. And I wanted to do this because last time we just had Darren on and we left it at that. Now they have all these fighters who they say have signed, committed. Well, I'd like to hear from the fighters, who a lot of them have fought for other organizations. They've heard it all. They've seen it all. How do they feel about this? Do they believe? I'll say the same thing that I said to him. And it's the same thing I talked about PFL. I have skepticism when it comes to the teams, when it comes to the format, when it comes to the standings, when it comes to all these things and more. I feel quite strongly about the way the fight game operates and should operate. But God bless them. Good luck. And obviously good to have, good to have options out there for the fighters first and foremost. Good to have that security. Good to have that protection. They are offering a lot of things that we talk about on this show. When it comes to revenue share and security for the fighters and whatnot. And so without further ado, let us say hello.
Wait, I've been actually itching to hit the breaking news button, so let's do that while we are continuing to frame up the guest.
Okay, I was just told that we had the guest. Is this gonna be enough time? That was long enough to frame up the guests, or do I have to keep going more? I'm not sure.
We're good now.
Oh, now we're good. Okay, well, thank you for that, Frank. You probably should have done that at the beginning of all of this. Now let us say hello to Anthony Showtime Pettis and the Motown phenom himself, Kevin Lee. There he is. Good to see you both. Very much appreciate it. Kevin, it's been a while, my friend. Great to talk to you. And thank you, Anthony, for the time as well. Kevin, let me start with you. We just heard from Darren everything, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have both of you on, I wanted to have two big-name fighters on. I wanted to hear it from you guys. If you believe in all of this, if you're on board, it's one thing to hear it from an executive. It's another to hear it from the guys who are actually competing. So, are you on board? Are you signed? Is everything that you heard him say legit?
Yeah, I'm in on it. We've had a couple conversations, and I like the energy that the man puts out. And then even when you get down to the contracts. I'm a veteran in the game now, so I've seen big contracts. I've seen from smaller promotions, all types of stuff. And when you go over the contract, it's very clear on what they can and can't do, and there's a lot of incentive for us, which we don't get in other promotions. When you start talking about the 50-50 revenue share and everything kind of being up front and center, these are things that I think have been big problems in MMA for a long time. We all know that they're big problems. And finally, somebody is actually trying to tackle this thing. So when I saw the contract, and I went over like all the details about it, it made a lot of sense. It's great promotion for us. It's a great reason for us to go out and promote, because now we actually get a split of what we bring at home instead of just a hope and a dream.
Anthony, you're a veteran. You're a former champ. You have fought for a bunch of different promotions. You are a promoter yourself. Are you on board, and if so, why?
Yeah, I'm on board. I mean, obviously, the opportunity for these fighters to have other organizations to go to is it's huge for me as where I'm at in my career, to see these younger fighters have opportunities to go other places besides just one place. We haven't seen anything like this. Revenue splits at 50%. I have my own organization, APFC. To be able to share revenue percent splits like that with the fighters is unheard of so far. And like Kevin said, I've seen the contract. It's pretty clear cut what we're getting. And then I'm a prize fighter. They came with an opportunity that was very lucrative for myself and for my family. And the back end of that, if these things pick up, these fighters are in a great position to make a lot of money.
Kevin, how do you feel about the team format and the draft and the league and all that stuff? It's a little bit different. It's akin to the IFL from back in the day and a little bit like the PFL, but it's not traditional to what MMA fans know when you think of the UFC or Strikeforce or Bellator, etc. How do you feel about it?
I like it. I like that, maybe now we can have some unity amongst fighters, and we can kind of have, if you got a team of 20 guys, now you got 19 guys that can back you in negotiations and who you fight and when you fighting. And maybe now we can actually have some unity behind it. I think that's something that's been missing in MMA for a long time. It's just been, you against the world almost, every man for himself. And now maybe we can actually do something with it. I think there's some details that need to be ironed out as far as, who's on what team and what the teams even are. But when the idea was approached to me, it sounds a little bit more like wrestling, like amateur wrestling, where you have, your individual championships, but then at the same time, everything going towards a team. And I know from competing in wrestling, that gives you a little bit added motivation as a competitor. It gives you a little bit something else behind it, because now you got 19 guys that are dependent on you. And having a team trophy it was a big thing, even in college wrestling when money wasn't involved. So now that money is involved and all of this other stuff, I think it's going to be good for the sport.
Anthony, we showed a lot of the names that have committed, such as the two of you, and there's some legends there, some former champions, some former massive stars, UFC and other organizations. Any trepidation, hesitancy just about the money? Because Darren wouldn't tell us who the money is behind all of this, and I'm not saying I don't believe him that there's money behind all of this, but the fight game, people throw around money. We saw it with Affliction. They had 2 shows and they went away. Any trepidation about this?
I mean, it's interesting. I know what the contracts that I signed, the contracts I'm getting. I mean, they're coming in very fair. And to say that it's not going to last or it is going to last, we have yet to see. But so far, I'll say this, Ariel: the checks have cashed. So they've done some stuff that we've made sure that was official, and so far we're in business.
Okay, yeah, and I see Tyron Woodley at the top of the list. I was working with him last month for that Jake Paul Mike Tyson card, and he was telling me the checks have cashed. They've been great. They have said everything that they've told me they were going to do, they are doing, and then some. Do you have the same experience so far, Kevin?
Yeah, same experience. And couple people have brought that up, like, oh, is this really going to be a thing? How long is it going to last? We've seen it with other promotions and this and that. But I remember a lot of people saying that about the PFL too, and they're on their 5th season and they're making millionaires. Every day that I'm down at Kill Cliff, I see what guys are pulling up in. I see how people are what they are. They making money in PFL, and I feel like this can be the same thing if we all get behind it, and if they got serious backers, and if they got serious people, meaning us, behind it, then it's gonna be a thing. We're gonna make it a thing. And like you said, the checks have been cashed. He hasn't gone back on no word that he gave to me. And that gave me a little bit more, clarity in the whole thing.
Anthony, Darren said that there's going to be a draft and people are going to be assigned to teams, and you don't have to necessarily train with that team, but it's an option, and you're kind of representing that team, if you will. What happens? And you guys are a little bit older now. I don't think you're trying to fight with people on the street and whatnot. But what happens if you get drafted to a team where you kind of just don't like the other guys on the team? Is that a potential issue?
I mean, it depends on the weight. The 2 guys per weight class. I guess you won't fight the guy in your weight class, so I think that might be an issue. But I mean, I see it as you're part of the team when you go to these events, but then most guys train at their home gyms anyways. I mean, the team format is going to be implemented when we're versus each other in team versus team, whether we're going to Brazil or we're going to Abu Dhabi or wherever we're going. That's where the team format happens. But guys like to train in their own gyms. Kevin trains in Florida, I train in Vegas. We're going to stay in our own gyms, but if we're on the same team, obviously it's incentives for us to both to do well.
I hope this succeeds. I hope every fighter gets paid. I think every fighter is underpaid. I think you guys deserve millions of dollars, and you deserve millions of dollars in back pay as well, and on it goes. And so I'm wondering for you, Kevin, why do you think this will work now? Why do you feel, where's the confidence coming from that this is going to work, that this is going to be the one? Because let's be honest, if this does work, this could revolutionize MMA with the 50-50 split. If fighters are actually truly going to get this and it can be sustainable, this can change everything. Where's the confidence coming from?
Yeah, I think, everything is in black and white, and that's how it goes. When you look at contracts and you compare it to, say, contracts in other organizations, is just more clear cut, and it's like I said, it's in black and white. So I do think that this can change how contracts are made in the future, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's going to be a thing, and for me as an athlete, the biggest thing is the fights, right? Like, fighting is something that I'm still seriously in love with. It's the only thing that can push me to the next level as a human being. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better man, a better fighter, a better husband, a better father, all of that stuff. So for me, as long as the fights are these are going to be serious fights. You got guys like Anthony Pettis, you got Tyron Woodley, you got Gegard Mousasi, who's on the roster. I mean, any fight that Gegard is in, I'm watching that, and I know that it's going to be a serious fight. So as long as the fights are and everything there is there, it's going to be a big thing.
Anthony, did they promise you X amount of fights per year?
Yes. And it's an option too. So that's why it's dope. But Kevin was saying, man, it's very, and this is in the fighter's favor, man. So we have an option. They have to guarantee us a certain amount of fights. Well, with my contract, I'm sure fighter's contract is different, but there's a certain amount of fights that I have to have. That's an option. If I want to do them, if I don't want to do them, I get to decide if I want to fight this fight, sit out, let my teammate fight. If I'm injured, So it's not like like the PFL you have to fight, and if you're not injured, you're out. If you're like, there's ways where you can be part of this team and be part of the tournament as long as you're with your squad. If you're hurt, your guy goes in. But yes, I was promised a guaranteed amount of fights in my contract. I still can box. I can still do karate combat. So I'm in a really good position where like I couldn't say no to this kind of a contract.
Okay, and for you, Kevin, are you exclusive to them, or do you have the ability to do other stuff?
I got the ability to box or do other things outside of MMA. Terrell Owens is Ocho Cinco's kind of out there talking a little bit, and he made videos talking about he can beat any Lee. So if that comes up and I end up boxing him or do some stuff outside of MMA, that's cool. And then I come back and can still compete in MMA because MMA is the home. I mean, MMA is the real deal. The rest of these combat sports are, it's just fun and play. So they'll let me play. They'll let me go make some money. But this is the real deal.
By the way, just to be clear, you versus Terrell Owens or you versus Ocho Cinco?
Yeah, they're not the same person. I don't really follow box.
No, they're not the same person.
Much.
Terrell Owens is one guy.
Ocho Cinco is, he put my name in his mouth, and there might be something there. I don't know. I might see him down here in Miami and slap him up a bit.
Okay.
But, if he's not going to do MMA fights, so that's why I say they'll let me go and box him or something like that, but come back to MMA where my real home is and where the real fights are.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I wanted to hear from the fighters as well, and I think you guys have painted a really good picture. Have I missed anything? Is there anything else that you want to maybe I'm sure there's a million fighters who are going to hit up all the guys who are listed, like, tell me more about this. Is there any detail that you guys think that I missed that should be shared with the world?
The retirement fund to me is a big one.
You go first,
that's
Kevin.
In black and white.
Yeah.
And it's there, and it's not just kind of put all on you, and you take care of yourself, and you're not signing as a 21-year-old guy who's never made money before and don't know what he's doing. You actually got lawyers and people behind you and contracts in place to where they are going to take care of you before, during, and after the fights. And so far, this is still in the before phase, but they've taken care of me before, and I got confidence that they're going to take care of me afterwards too.
Anthony, what did you want to say?
I said I'm sure more stuff's going to roll out, but lightweight division's 165 pounds. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
Yes, we've been talking about that. Yeah, he said it was like 55, 65, 75, 85, and it sounds like you guys like that. Will you both be in the 65-pound division?
I'll be 65.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely.
This could be a fight. This could be one of the fights right here.
Yeah, we never fought.
Teammates, you never know. You never know. That's the beauty of it. You never know how it's going to play out. And I think, like Darren said, that's kind of one of the talking points on it. Are they going to be teammates? Are they going to be fighters? I got a massive amount of respect for Anthony Pettis. I damn near froze to death in Milwaukee coming up to try and train with him way back in the day in like 2013. He was one of the guys that I looked up to. And we had a nice little build up to a fight before he fought Tony Ferguson. So, it could go either way, which is the fun of the sport. Like, friends turn enemies, idols, rivals. You never know. So I think the whole thing could be fun, and it could be interesting for the fans and for us fighters.
Love it. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Good luck with this. Thank you very much, Anthony. Great to have you on again. And Kevin, great to talk to you as well. Hope everything is going great in your life, and wish you guys the best in 2025. And with the whole launch of all of this, it's going to be really interesting. So thanks so much for coming on, guys. Appreciate it.
No doubt. Keep doing big things, Ariel. Keep doing big things. I see you out here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that as well. There they are, Kevin Lee and Anthony Pettis. Great to catch up with them, and great to hear from them. Great to hear about all of this. A lot to digest. A lot to digest about the Global Fight League. We showed you a lot of the slides. There was the one slide with the the playoffs and all that with the points. Let's take a look at that one more time if we can. He broke down the points. There it is. 4 points for a finish, 3 for a decision, 2 for a draw, 1 for a decision loss, 0 for a finish loss. Obviously, points contribute to the team's total score. And then I guess it's a bracket afterwards with the cities, the 6 cities, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 finalists. It starts up in April of 2025, and the draft kicks off on January 24th, 2025. And so that is going to be something to watch as well, coming up in a little over a month's time. All right, let's digest. I knew about some of this, but obviously, didn't speak to Darren and definitely didn't speak to the fighters beforehand. Rick, what do you think? Rick's usually the straight shooter. He'll tell us like it is. Your thoughts on all this information that has just been dumped on our laps?
I'm trepidatious from the perspective that this is a giant undertaking. That's my one thing.
It's massive.
Like, this is a massive thing. To try to upend the industry in this specific way is something that you just can't anticipate, right? And so I will say I'm almost like encouraged by the fact that they didn't launch in 2023 and the fact that they now are trying to get their ducks in a row 2 years after that, right? Like you talked about February 5th, 2023 being the potential launch. We're now about to be 2 years removed from that. That actually gives me a little bit of hope and a little bit of encouragement for their success in the perspective that they've now got 2 extra years of time having tried to solve the issues that are plaguing MMA. And then you just have to kind of like take it from the horse's mouth in terms of Kevin Lee and Anthony Pettis talking about the contracts and the agreements and the offers that they have been presented being favorable to the fighters. Now, the larger question that hangs over all of this is not specific to this league and not specific to any league at all. It's can an organization that has contracts that are favorable to the fighters in the way that this league has presented succeed, right? Because the UFC has become very successful because of their margins and not offering these contracts that are extremely favorable to the fighters. In fact, they are very not favorable to the fighters, to the point that the UFC is taking home the vast lion's share of that money and has made them ultimately extremely successful. Can a league that changes that paradigm, can a league that presents fighters with much more equitable contracts be successful? We will remain to be seen, but it seems like they have the funding to be able to do that, as Anthony said, and you said you spoke to Tyron Woodley. The checks have cleared so far, so the money is there, at least initially. Let's see if the fans turn out for it, right? All these things ultimately are secondary until the product launches and the fans either show up and watch. I don't know if their broadcast deal, will be on television or what, or show up to the arena to watch in the stands. If there is demand, and there are names here that I'm interested in still seeing fighting, if there is demand, we will see ultimately how much they're able to generate and what that percentage goes to the fighters, and if they're able to operate with the other 50%. If they can take that other 50% and make the business work, there could be something here. But this is a massive undertaking, and I'm not skeptical because of anything they are doing, but just the task ahead of them and anybody who's trying to enter this space.
Can I just say it was great to talk to Kevin Lee.
By the way, Kevin dropped a little nugget there. He was. We could still hear him after.
Oh.
Gladiator 2 movie of the year. He heard us talking about it on the front.
What?
And he said, I need to, can anybody hear me right now? I need to tell you, I heard Moana, I heard Wicked, Gladiator 2 movie of the year. So shout out to Kevin Lee, who was watching earlier.
Yo, Kevin, much love, man.
Gladiator 2. Great film, so he's not wrong on that.
Yeah,
but,
I love Kevin.
It was good to see Kevin.
Yes.
And Anthony, I mean, these are, these are names that I care about. These are names that I still want to see compete, and names that still get me to go, oh, that's interesting that they're fighting. So there's a lot of names on that roster that we saw and the signings that we saw that have that same effect. Can they ultimately get people to watch on their broadcast channels? Can they ultimately get people to fill arenas to watch them is going to be the make or break. But the signs are encouraging in terms of what the athletes are saying about what's been presented to them.
Fascinating stuff. Look, I think that... And tremendous breakdown, by the way. Thank you for that. I think it is fair to say I want to wait and see.
Yes.
Because skepticism, the team, the league, the history, and all that. But I say that also for this reason. We can't ignore the fact that 3 years ago, Darren was on the show and promised a lot. And I actually rewatched the interview 3 years ago. And this is not me taking a shot. I would say the same. And I've said the same to him privately as well. We need to actually see it now. And when I rewatched it this morning, obviously we've done a gazillion interviews since then. So a lot of the stuff was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. He was quite definitive about the February 2023 date. And remember, that interview was December of 2021. So it wasn't even like, oh, it's coming up in 3-4 months. It was a year and a half away, essentially. A year and like 3-4 months. And it didn't happen. And credit to him. He was very candid about that. It was about the funding, and I understand. But I want to see it happen now. I want to see it happen.
Can I say here's why I'm encouraged by that, though? And I said it a little bit, but I'll be more definitive.
Please.
It could have been a case where they say, we're launching February 5th, 2023, no matter what. And that could have been a disaster, right? You only get one shot at this. This is not the type of thing where you're going to get to start, stop. You're not going to get a start and then be able to resume. If they had launched in February 2023, I'm confident in saying they would not have been able to make this successful. The fact that they waited till the funding was secured and felt like they had the established money that they needed to fund this and felt like they had the systems in place to fund this, to me is an encouraging sign. I would actually have been more terrified of the idea if they did launch in February 2023. I almost feel like that extra time and the securing of that funding is responsible. They are taking a responsible path to try to do this properly. I'm truly encouraged by the fact that it took this long, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a nice way to put it. Let's see how it shakes out.
But as you said, the product is where this is going to live and die. That is it. We have to see it. You have to make it happen, and we have to see what happens from here.
I can't change my stance just because we got the exclusive and they came on the show, and I appreciate it very much. And it's a fascinating thing, and it's a privilege to just be able to rifle off these questions. Right? They can hold a press conference, they can hold a conference call. That's a privilege. But my stance is still the same. It cannot change until I feel otherwise or proven otherwise. I am skeptical that the team format, that the league format, that the playoff format, that the point system format, I am skeptical that that works. I fear that it does not work as far as MMA and combat sports are concerned. This is my fear. And so let's see what happens. It's ambitious. I think that's a good word. There's a lot of names. I've seen some other names that they are trying to get on board as well that they haven't announced just yet. Those are big names. There's a lot that could potentially go great. There's a lot that can't go great. I will also say this. I think having a streaming deal would be big. I think having a TV deal of some kind, of broadcast deal, if you will, would be gigantic. I think that would speak volumes, right? Like, who's the top right now? It's probably DAZN, right? If you have a deal with DAZN, if you have a deal with anyone, an Amazon, an Apple, a Max, a Prime, that is Amazon, of course.
Hulu, ESPN Plus, all the players.
Name them. That goes a long way, right? That goes a very long way. Launching on the app doesn't feel quite the same. So these are a lot of things that need to happen between now and April when they say they're going to launch. I do feel like there needs to be more players. I do feel like there needs to be more competition. And I don't say that because I'm looking for somebody to take down the UFC. The UFC is going to be the gold standard from now until we're all gone. That's just a fact. The UFC is so far away and better and buttoned up. It's just a fact. It's like WWE. Like, there could be people that will pop up, but they are Kleenex when it comes to MMA. And even probably more so than WWE, if we're being honest. That's how dominant they are right now. And so I don't say that because I'm like, oh, I want some competition to take down the UFC. No, I say that because I want the fighters to have options, to have places that they can go if they're not ready for the UFC, or if they're not welcome in the UFC, or if they don't want to reset. Look at Muhammad Mokaev. You know, he got let go. He was probably the next best guy, right? You could have made a case that he should have been next to fight Pantoja and not Urseg and not Asakura, and he has to go to Brave. You think he wanted to go to Brave? Probably not. That's no knock on Brave, but they're not considered one of the top dogs, if you will. PFL doesn't have a flyweight division, and then you're done. There's no one else, right? So having another major player would be great. Having another major player like we have in pro wrestling where, okay, AEW is there, that's your major player. But there's also even a TNA, and there's a New Japan, and there's you know, some other leagues around the world. That's great. We don't even have that, it feels like. So I think this would be beneficial for all the fighters. I really do think so. PT, what do you think about all of this?
In terms of like another major player coming into MMA?
Just the way it's, you know, major player is one thing, but there's a lot of meat on this bone, right? And it's an ambitious thing, and it's the league, and it's the point. It's not just, look, I'll be honest with you, PT. If he came out and said, we're launching a promotion, we're Elite XC 2.0, we're Pride 2.0, we're Strike Force 2.0, we're going to have the best fight, those fighters that he mentioned, and we're going to put on the best freaking fights, I would say, I believe it. It's the league, it's the point, it's the playoffs. I feel like it gets too convoluted, it gets too confusing. I can't change my stance because he came on. But you know what I'm saying, right? When Strikeforce came out, it was just like, let's put the most fun fights out there. Elite XC, with all their problems, they had money problems, they put all their eggs in the Kimbo, but they had moments where they were getting $6 million on CBS to watch Kimbo slice. They just said, let's put the most fun fights out there. That's how I think a promotion can succeed. Put the best fun fights out there. When you're doing league, playoff, this and that, you're kind of beholden to that, and that sometimes becomes an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And the problem, like another issue they're having is they've kind of installed this same platform in different parts of the world. But I just think after the first PFL Europe, like where we have another PFL Europe finale this weekend, it just doesn't have the interest as I thought it would. Like, granted, there is some fights a lot of people are looking forward to. The Lazy King's on this weekend. He's a massive deal in France. He got the second biggest pop of the night when I went to see Cedric Doumbé back in March. You have Lewis McGrillen from Manchester as well, another great fighter, but they just don't seem to be stimulating that interest because, as you said, you can't just it's much easier to be able to select these fights that will appeal to the fan base. One thing that I often come back to when I think about this, and this sport in particular, is what happened with golf. When Live Golf came along, it basically showed that there wasn't room for two big players in the industry, and I wonder if that's where we've got here, where this is just the way the sport is, with the UFC on top of the pyramid, because that's certainly what happened with golf. I think Liv and PGA basically went into each other. Liv now sponsor PGA, but it just doesn't feel like it's not a big enough sport to have two major players in that sense. And I wonder if MMA is similar.
You make a great point, PT, and it was something I was thinking about. One of the defining things that happened in the last couple of years in MMA was Francis Ngannou choosing an option other than the UFC. And we don't see it often, right? A lot of times when the choice is laid out, people choose the UFC. It's rare that when the two options are on the table, ultimately somebody, especially with the clout and the name value that Francis has, chose another promotion. It will be interesting to see if anybody chooses GFL. That will be kind of like a determining factor. If fighters start to go, okay, the terms are better for me here, and I am in my prime, and I am saying I choose this option rather than this option, I think that will be when the tide could start to turn. Until then, I don't know if there even are multiple players in the space. I think it still exists as a one-player system. It is a one-party type of thing. Once those decisions start coming up, and once the option becomes, okay, I'm actually choosing an alternative, like you mentioned Live Golf, there were many top golfers who were choosing, right, to say, I'm going to forego this and I'm going here. When we start seeing that, if we ever start seeing that at the scale that it could happen, that is when I think there will be a possibility for other players. Until then, I don't know if there even are other players. I think it just remains UFC and everything else.
Yeah, historically, when you try to make individual sports into team sports, it doesn't work. There was World Team Tennis, golf, as you mentioned. I guess Ryder Cup is a thing, but it's just like it's a thing once a year.
It's not a concurrent yet.
Yeah.
It's not a league.
Special.
Right.
Yeah.
GC, longtime sports fan, newer, although, I mean, you've earned your stripes in MMA. Your thoughts on the format? I mean, just your body language right there.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm cautious about getting too excited about it. I mean, I don't love the team format. Even if you do it like city-based, like he discussed, like what is going to get the people in those cities connected to those teams, or is it just going to be a random collection of fighters? The point at which a lot of these fighters are in their career, how excited are people going to be? You know, a lot of these guys are already into their 40s. How many fights are we going to see from them? I'm cautious about getting too excited about it. I will be intrigued if, they have the draft and then they have the schedule and then they go on with the first season. I will be intrigued and I will be watching, but at the current juncture, I'm cautious about getting too excited about it.
Well, shout out to the chat. Thumbs up. 55% are saying that they will give GFL a chance, despite a lot of reservations in the comment section. So,
what's the downside?
Yeah,
Like,
I will
it's-
give it.
it's
That's
an option.
100%. I will give it a chance. Like, especially if they get a team here in New York, I might become the biggest fan.
yeah,
He's
you're going to
just
show up
rock
with the
the
merch.
jersey all
I'll be at
day.
the draft. Yeah, give me a logo and a team here in New York. I will become the biggest fan.
Man, that's the thing. Like, again, if I was starting, I would say we're putting on the most fun fight. I was going to say the funnest fights, the most fun fights. Everyone could wear whatever sponsors they want. Like it's the wild. We're going back to Pride. It's the Wild West. We're gonna have elaborate entrances. We're gonna.
I was scrambling around during some of this. Did he not mention that? I don't know. Did they mention uniforms? Did they even get into that nitty gritty? Or
no uniforms, no sponsors, but they get 50% of their sponsors, right? So if they have a deal with those woke bastards, Manscaped, then you get 50%.
I'm with you. Thanks for saying it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so tired.
Oh, I've been waiting for that one.
I'm tired of their
I need a woke free razor.
I'm tired of their BS. They'll get 50% of that woke money. You get what I'm saying? So the one thing I forgot to ask was ring or cage.
Ring would be sick.
Bro, if they go ring, then they're full on IFL.
Yeah, ring is sick.
No.
Rings are great. What do you mean no? How dare you? Rings are such a better experience from now. Certainly,
not for the fighters.
They have different limitations in terms of the actual performance. But as a spectator, God, a ring is so much better than a cage. I know we all love cages, but a ring is so much better.
Did we get a name for the New York team?
No, he wouldn't. Were you guys listening to the interview or what?
Empire State
I just
Stranglers?
literally told you I was scrambling around. But yes, I caught most.
We didn't get anything. We didn't get any names.
That's my vote. Empire State.
Yeah, you're giving people, faulty
Stranglers.
things that I have to clean up the mess back here.
Which faulty things? The Zoomlings?
We got people going on the wrong thing.
No. I mean, it just
correct.
I hit the breaking news on a weird spot.
That was weird. Pantoja went long.
Yeah. No, look.
Actually,
hey,
to be fair to him, I was enjoying that Pantoja chat. What a guy. He's coming to his own.
I wish I got
to
that Alex.
Yeah.
Good for him, man.
He's one of our own. He's one of our... No,
I'm going to read a claim. I love that guy. He's the best. The team format is difficult because, as you've said, right? There's not really like ties. There's not a unifying thread. We just had Pettis and Lee on, and they're like, yeah, maybe we'll fight or maybe we'll be teammates. But are they really teammates? They're training in different places. I ultimately don't know if that format will work.
Right, and like, are all the other teammates going to be at the fights? It feels like they really need to be unified if they're going to be a team.
I saw this movie with the IFL. Who remembers the IFL?
Yeah, of course.
Ben Folks on Uncrowned wrote a great story about the IFL. Ben Folks used to work for the IFL. Wow. You saw that? He used to work for the IFL. You know what? We should have him
time
on.
For a piece of like IFL.
I wonder why he's
looking back at it. What are the mistakes to avoid if you are?
Can I make a guest suggestion for either show in the next 2 days? Can we get Ben on?
Locked in on Friday, guys.
There it is. The crack. We get Ben on to talk about this. Yeah, there it is. Did you actually lock him in, or did you?
Yeah,
he did.
Tuesday,
he said it to me yesterday.
There it is.
I got this news first, and I said I better lock him in. But
there it is.
Chuck will be there as well. I know Chuck has got a lot of crackheads that have been being around. I'll just keep on going back to this list of fighters, and it's something else, lads. Vanderlei Silva's going to be fighting again. Is that correct?
Frank Mir, I think I saw on there too.
Gustafsson was one where I was like,
Vanderlei had some pretty like.
Greg Hart.
Can we see those fighters again? Can we see the fighters again? Let's dissect these a little bit.
Stand by.
Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, Tyron Woodley.
Fabricio Verdum, Pettis, Olenek, JDS. Hector Lombard, Luke Rockhold, Dalila Latifi, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Vanderlei Silva, Alex Gustafsson, Thiago Santos, Sanjay Arlovsky, Lucas Martins, Gabriel Souza, Kevin Lee, Frank Mir, our old friend Killa B, Charles Rosa, Alan Belcher, Jeremy Stevens. I mean, these are all very notable names. Obviously, established older names, I think is a fair thing to say, right? Tanner Boser, Jimmy Rivera. Who else?
Gegard Mousasi.
Did I not say him? Gegard.
No, he's near the end. That's why.
Yeah, Bubba Jenkins, Philip Hawes. I mean, Gegard might be the one who's like most in his prime.
This is the thing. The PFL and
Will
Bellator.
Brooks. Sorry, go ahead.
Now exists in addition to the UFC, so that the talent pool is smaller outside of those two promotions that are already snatching everybody up. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of names there that you're overlooking. They have kind of assembled some of the best talent outside of that. I'm encouraged, but the product is what's going to make or break it.
Can I make a programming suggestion?
Of course.
GFL draft watch party?
Are we going to do
Where is it going to be?
Are we going to do a GFL mock draft?
Why? That's something. Let me hit up Shaheen real quick. We could do like how like ESPN.com or Yahoo.com, Yahoo Sports, they do their, these are the top 10 picks and all that.
Yeah,
no, but like I'm not. Is Vanderlei Silva actually saying? Like, writing it?
Yeah.
I think he's a part of it.
No, but no. In all seriousness, like this guy.
How old is he?
Recently, during that
Yes.
antitrust lawsuit,
Yes.
he released some like he released testimony that said like he had brain injury that's consistent with CTE.
Yeah, no, I remember that in the testimony. I mean, he's the same age as Vladimir Klitschko, and he appears to be making a comeback in 2025. So
I don't know if either of them should come back.
that's a fair statement. It's a very fair statement. So wait, about that watch party, are we doing that or?
We'll workshop it. Sounds like a good
Dun,
idea.
I see Frank Mir on there too.
It depends on what they're gonna. Are they just gonna like reveal the names, or is it gonna be an actual draft? There's a commissioner and a team captain that comes up. I don't know. I'm not opposed. Let me.
You sound like you're really into it. Right?
I'm
he's slowly selling himself. Every time it comes back to him, he's like, you know what? This is gonna be fucking great.
He already has season tickets for the New York team.
Right now,
he's gonna show up on Monday with the hat and the foam finger.
I need a logo for the team.
The novelty of it is fascinating to me. It's new, it's fresh. There's something to it. Ultimately, this is all the bells and whistles and the gimmicks that happened beforehand. The product is what's gonna matter. But I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try. I'll try I'll take a sample and see what happens.
All right. Let's see. It will continue to unfold, and we'll get a lot more information next month. Appreciate Darren coming on. Appreciate Kevin coming on. Appreciate Anthony coming on and everyone who helped make that happen. We did ask them, by the way. Let me see if there was a response here yet. We did ask if it's a ring or a cage. I feel like that's a question that is of interest. Not that I think it will be a deal breaker for viewers or fighters, but I am curious. Let's go to some super chat questions, shall we? On this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And by the way, massive showdown. We were talking about the holiday party, and we were also talking about the book club. I mean, it is Knicks Hawks in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. That's happening tonight, GC.
Huge.
You know this, yes?
Huge.
You locked in?
Yeah, locked in.
Let me tell you something. I told my son asked me, if the Knicks win the NBA Cup, like, will you be as emotional as them when? Like, remember, for him, this is all new, so he doesn't know that the NBA Cup is essentially 2 years old. I said, of course not. But I also say this: if I could just witness the Knicks celebrating something, I'm kind of in.
This is a disgrace.
Can I get the merch? Can I get the hat?
No, you cannot.
If we're gonna get the scenes of the New York Knicks celebrating like champagne, all
if
that,
they celebrate like that, they should be embarrassed.
I'm in.
Knowing the entire time that it's just a marketing
I'm in.
sham means absolutely nothing.
Games that would have been played anyway has no.
Not the final. Not the
no
final.
stakes.
The final.
One extra game. Wow, you did it.
Listen, I'll take what I could get. By the way, if Man United wins the FA Cup, are you saying that's BS, Pete? Of course not. There's prestige.
Very different.
This is the Emirates NBA Cup.
Very different.
The Emirates
Also,
NBA Cup.
FA Cup has history, and it's not just the teams in the Premier League; it's all of England.
Yeah.
Whereas the NBA
look
is
at you dropping knowledge. Yes.
Just the mid-season tournament, completely pointless.
All right, fine. If Forest wins the Carabao Cup, we're all in.
If Forrest won the Carabao Cup, we wouldn't even get a text in the group chat.
That's crazy. The Milk Cup, the prestigious Milk Cup. Did you know this, Pete? It used to be called the Milk Cup.
If you cry,
the Milk
after
Cup
the
is
Knicks
a
win
youth
the
cup
NBA
now. Yeah.
Nah, listen.
There's been so many names on like different.
Does it get a
cups.
banner in the rafters?
I say yes.
Please, God,
I
no.
say yes.
Please.
By the
You're
way,
gonna put this up to the 1970 championship.
Yes.
Billy Joel.
And the Knicks shit this year.
A million
No,
sold
the
out
Knicks are not
concerts.
shit this year.
NBA Cup champs.
The
You know
Knicks
what?
have been shit for a long time.
What is
but they
this
are not
city
I thought
become?
I thought I heard
What
him
is the
crying
city
about
I
the
love
Knicks
become?
early in the season.
I wasn't crying about nothing. All right.
No, this is what happens with the
We
Knicks
have yet
fans.
to win a game, but I remain hopeful.
They
or
trade
whatever
away
you were
these
saying.
guys who are worse than the guys they get, and they go, "Oh, but the emotional connection I had with DDV and
Yeah, that's right.
IQ and all
I
these
get
guys."
emotional.
And then it turns out, oh wait, OG is actually a gangster. Oh wait, Cat is actually
love
our
OG.
best
They
player.
broke
now.
up the Nova Knicks.
Oh, they broke up the guys that I love, and then they turn out
So they're
with
doing well.
legend.
Knicks are doing
Karl
Nice. Had a
Anthony
big
Towns,
win.
who's an
In
absolute
fact, I could
savage.
some breaking news in the midst of today's program. It feels louder than usual.
Cat?
Yeah,
the big
sounds
bodega.
really-
I like the big bodega. There's
like
also
that.
the big purr and all that stuff. Cat.
Ooh,
you
I
know.
don't
Bodega
know,
Cat, for
I'm
sure.
big bodega.
There has been some talks of Helwani appearing at the world's most famous arena tonight.
Oh.
In the midst of the
Oh,
program.
wow.
Oh, you're
Boy,
going.
hey, time
You're
out.
going to
You're-
NBA Cup.
You're
You
going?
get the Christmas party tonight. You can't go.
I said the party.
Who'd you tell? Who'd you tell?
People were talking. You in? I'm like, twist my arm.
Who?
You
Katie
know?
Couric?
In the middle of the show?
In the middle of the show, I got the text. I was like, you in?
Action Bronson? Is
Wow.
it Bronson again?
He's not saying names.
Jon Stewart?
My God.
Kiss and
Henrik
tell.
Lundqvist?
I don't kiss and tell. All right.
Ben Stiller?
And you got the Bills and Lions as well.
All right,
this
so
weekend, Ariel. You're
basically
flying.
what you're saying is,
I won't tell you who I'll be watching that
Wow,
one
Bills,
with.
Lions?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
no, what you're saying is you're also we're marking you down not coming to the party. So basically, nobody who works here is even coming to this party.
Technically, I never RSVP'd to the party because I never got the invitation.
Yeah.
So
You definitely received the invitation.
on my life.
No, you had people
On
just
my
don't check
life.
your Yahoo mail.
Yeah.
That's a known thing.
Yep.
You two don't know how to.
You guys aren't
Oh,
real
so I might have
Yahooers.
gotten invited. I might have gotten
You
invited.
might
You
have
definitely
gotten
did. Y'all just aren't real Yahoos.
Pizza,
I don't know my password anymore.
Oh,
Sounds
right.
I get my Yahoo. Email me right now. I'll respond within
it.
seconds.
Yeah, you
I
won't.
just
You'll respond
did.
to whoever you're going to.
The real
next
party
anyway.
is the one that isn't at the party.
I agree, Frank. You know what? It's one of the great things you've ever said.
It's Frank. You know what? It's Frank and GC. They're going with you to the next game, aren't they? This is a
I am
setup.
going to go sit in an apartment lobby with middle-aged women and talk about a murder mystery.
Let's
So
go to
next
these
game,
super
same
chats. Let's go to the super
Yeah.
chats. Del Red asks, who is GC and Rick's go-to Super Smash Bros. Character?
Okay, are we talking about OG N64? Are we talking about Melee? Are we talking about
you're asking me these
Ultimate?
questions. I didn't ask the question.
Which one are we talking about, Ariel?
I don't
I
know.
only have 64
Okay,
like,
then let's go
skills
64.
and knowledge, and I was always a Captain Falcon guy.
Captain Falcon's great. When you unlock Ness, Ness is also great.
Shout out.
Are you a Samus guy?
I am a
Frank?
Samus.
Yeah, Frank loves Metroid Prime. Yoshi.
Wasn't Kirby like the cheat? Kirby was like kind of like a hack.
Game's
No?
completely balanced. What are you talking about?
Oh.
I love styling on in Melee. I love styling on people with Roy. Dr. Mario, just like beating the shit out of people with Dr. Mario was great. In Ultimate, I mean, there's like too many characters. You just kind of like pick whoever. I kind of like stopped playing a ton once I got to Melee.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Ariel, what are yours?
I don't
what's your-
know. I
what's
don't know.
yours?
My kids had like a 2-week stretch where they played
Smash?
that game. Yeah, and I thought it was cool. That was the one where you can be like Pikachu against Mario, right?
Yeah, like arguably like one of the greatest.
No, it was
fighting
great.
games
It was
of all
great.
time.
But they're now exclusively just 2 games. It's exclusively 2
What?
games. It's 2K and FIFA we call it.
Oh,
but-
they're in like this stage of
Yeah.
childhood. where
and
you
I
gotta
couldn't
play
love it
sports games.
anymore.
Oh,
I
man.
could not love it
You're not
anymore.
playing football
Do you
manager.
play them with them?
I play it all the time,
Dude,
especially
I hit a
basketball.
stretch where it was Madden and FIFA, and that was it. I got like nasty at Madden. I was playing Madden tournaments.
They have not played Madden. They inquired about Madden. They inquired about college football. But I actually want to introduce them to the NHL game because I always thought those were fun. But now they're playing 2K with their friends. And also there's like a street version of 2K that you can play, which is kind of cool, like a 3-on-3. It's very fun. And now it's amazing how they pick things up. Now they're talking to me about like the 8th man on the Mavericks. And I'm like, 3 months ago, you had never even heard of this guy. Like I was talking to them about when we were watching the game, this is how quickly they can pick things up. My son can now tell you 1 through 15 on the Knicks, and he can tell you everything about them. Like he can mention Matt Ryan, literally the 15th man. And then we're watching the Raptors game on Monday, and it's like OG playing against RJ, and I'm like, oh, remember Emmanuel Quickley? He was like the big guy in that trade that I was sad about. They had no recollection of Emmanuel Quickley, and that was a year ago that trade happened.
So this all happened in the last year. Like they're just like
Literally like the last 6 to
studying
8 months.
rosters. Yeah.
It's playing 2K and it's doing fantasy, and then all of a sudden they pick everything up. We continue. Grayson Sensation suggests that the boys in the back do a pound for pound best Christmas movies list. Are you guys into this?
You'd be shocked to know tomorrow on the Boys in the Back, pound for pound Christmas movies. So your wish is our command.
Pound for pound Christmas, holiday movies. If you want to throw
holiday.
Literally tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, if you want to throw in 8 Crazy Nights.
I've been
in
doing
there.
this all day.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Already
got to
got
get
my
this
list
in,
in.
and then we'll have a New Year's one for the final show.
Love it.
Also, PT, we're gonna rock our me and Rick got St. Stephen's Day sweatsuits. We're gonna rock them
my
tomorrow
God.
on the show.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And not on the final show of the year.
No, that I have a special Christmas sweater
All
today
right.
for that one.
There you go.
Yeah, it's in the
Holiday
mail. It
sweater. Holiday
should be
sweater.
there. No,
Nice.
it's a Christmas sweater. It's a Christmas sweater.
I love
Can't
it.
wait.
Jonah said, "Shout out to the Lion of God." Is this a new merch thing? Should it be Lion of God? I mean,
It's a badass name. I was thinking that as well. Why did you ever go with Ariel after being
yeah, that's true. I had a rough year in Israel. Can't imagine for people 1 hour drive away from me in Gaza. Would love Belal to come on. And that's another thing. You've never heard me. You've never heard. I mean, the people that I associate with. Everyone is heartbroken about what has happened. Everyone's heartbroken about October 7th and everything that has happened subsequently. No one wants this. No one is rooting for this. No one is wishing this. No one is, that I know, or at least that I am associated with, and certainly not myself, trying to spew this propaganda and hatred and venom. Everyone wants this to end. Everyone wants the killing to stop, the hostages to come home, there to be peace and all that stuff. You never hear that from us. It's awful. It's heartbreaking. No one wants to see it. I love going over there. I love the thing that always struck me, and I was last in Israel in August of 2023, how there's Arabs, there's Christians, there's Jewish people, there's gays, lesbians. It doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what you believe in, how you live. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's happy. Everyone's living in harmony. I had people coming up to me, talking to me about Khabib. I say, is that your favorite fighter? Yes, I'm Muslim. I love him. I love Islam. I love Sean O'Malley. He had just beaten Aljamain Sterling when I was there. This could be such a beautiful and harmonious place. And in the midst of all this madness, there it is. I don't want any of this to happen. And you don't hear that from these other people, and that's what pisses me off. All they spew is negativity and venom and propaganda, and it's tiring, and bigotry. So shout out to Jonah and shout out to everyone who is fighting the good fight in the Middle East. GG asks Ariel, all of these potential things GFL is aiming for is stuff you advocate for weekly. Are you pessimistic / jaded because the industry has been the way it currently is for too long? No, listen, give me the revenue sharing, give me the 50-50, give me all that stuff. It's the format that makes me a little bit skeptical. It's the format. The economics I get and I believe in, it's the format. So that's the big difference. So let's see.
Update.
Yes.
We've heard back from Darren Owen.
Yes.
We will quote. Here's a quote. We will be using a hexagon cage for events where the athletic commissions require cages. So the specific language around that makes me think: are there times where they will not be using any cage or something else, but hexagon cage where required for MMA?
Feels like an opportunity for a follow-up question. No, we'll leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Yes.
Maybe not the best vehicle for that.
Yeah. We continue. Keto Kai asks, what are your guys' favorite video games in any genre? Mine is either Silent Hill 2 or Final Fantasy 7.
Shout out Final Fantasy 7, one of my favorites.
He's a man of culture. I love to see it.
Does that mean there's actually been like 1 through 7?
There's 16.
Oh, there's a lot more.
There's been more than 7.
Golly.
More than 16, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's some that are not numbered.
You're a Metal Gear Solid guy, Rick?
Metal Gear Solid, best franchise, greatest games. 2, maybe I don't know. They're all so good.
I do love Metal Gear Solid. Zelda is just like that.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Franchise. I've beaten it on almost every system Nintendo's come out with, and I love every one. I still got a Twilight Kingdom. I gotta.
Oh yeah, little Christmas or birthday gift someone got you, right?
You gave me 2 games.
Wow.
I've already beaten 1. It was I logged like 150 hours on Breath of the Wild. I need a break. I need a breather before that.
I'm sure I've said it before, but Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
I was just going to mention Castlevania. I used to love Castlevania. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Is that the song?
Wow, you're serious. I thought you were fucking around.
Castlevania had a great... No, I am serious. Castlevania had a great theme song.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Absolutely.
What was it?
Well, it wasn't that.
Red Dead Redemption 2, another good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It just wasn't what you were singing.
Yeah. What was it?
Grand Theft Auto.
No.
Grand Theft Auto next year, man. That's going to be mental.
Is it going to be next year?
We're going to get GFL.
I was going to say GFL or Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
Which one comes first?
This is it.
Oh yeah, we're getting demonetized. For
Oh, sorry.
Pennsylvania lawyers are
Damn
coming
it.
at us.
Okay. We continue. J Love Sports asks, what would you do to fix AEW? Listen, here's the thing about AEW, and here's the thing about the people who believe that I want AEW to fail. That is not true. That is unequivocally untrue. And I will also say that one thing I failed to mention, and I regret not mentioning in my conversation with Eric Bischoff about it last week, which people got freaking nuts about. Look, AEW just signed a nice new long-term deal with WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery. That was an increase. So to suggest that they are, 4 feet under is not accurate. Has attendance changed? Have ratings changed? Yes, these things happen, and pro wrestling and combat sports are cyclical. I will say this one more time, and I will say it's again these things that you keep having to mention over and over again. I want AEW to succeed. It is better when there are more promotions. It is better when there are more outlets for fighters, competitors, athletes to negotiate, make money with. It is better. I am the guy who continues to talk about this for MMA, for boxing, for pro wrestling, for kickboxing, for freaking pickleball, for paddle, for everything. Everything. I want more options. Now, I know for fans, you all want it under one umbrella. It's cleaner. You get the best fights, and all the fighters have to stay under one roof. But that's not me. That's never been me. And so there is no. The only time you have ever heard me say anything critical about AEW is I talked about that interview that I didn't like. Big deal. I could list 30 interviews that I don't like, but it bothered you that I mentioned that. All right. Go back to all the other examples where I've praised them, where I've liked what they've done. On and on and on it goes. And I know none of this will matter, and I know everyone will believe that I work for WWE or that Nick Khan is still my agent and all this nonsense. Trust me when I tell you, no interaction, no communication, no nothing. Zero. No nothing. How many WWE guests have you seen on the show? When we booked Eric Bischoff, he was coming on. He was booked by MLW. And I was thinking of even posting that text. I'm like, I'm not going to keep doing this. When I saw him show up on NXT, I was like, all right, well, maybe that changes that. And they said, no, he's doing the MLW thing. He's committed, all that stuff. So haters going to hate, but I wish them well. And to answer the question, keep it simple. Less convoluted storylines. Maybe the roster needs to be slightly trimmed, although, I don't want anyone to not have an opportunity. I just think that when they keep it simple, when less factions turning, this guy, that guy, that makes me lose my attention. I will also just say flatly, I'm not sitting there watching 2 hours on Wednesday and 2 or 1 hour on Friday and then another X amount of hours on Saturday. So ultimately, I may not be the best person to ask, if I'm being honest right now. Derek the Dad, do you think UFC will come back to the Shark Tank in San Jose for a fight night? Bellator always had fights here, but since the PFL takeover, it is no more. Yeah, because Scott Coker had great ties. And of course, when Coker left and went to work for the UFC for a little bit when they bought Strikeforce, we had a couple of great events there. 139 comes to mind. I hope so. It's a great market. The Bay Area has always been great for MMA, and Strikeforce in its heyday was magic. Magic. Told the story a million times. I'll say it again. Bobby Southworth, Renato Babalu Sobral. I'm sitting there, and that was the main event on HGNet Fights on a Friday. And then I'm like, all right, cool, great. And the place is packed to the rafters. And then the show is over, and then two local kickboxers who are 1-0 and 0-1 in MMA come out and the place explodes. And the 1-0 and 0-1 was against each other. And it was a local turf war, if you will. And that was the brilliance of Strikeforce. They knew how to book for the territory. They knew how to book for the arena, for the crowd. It was old school pro wrestling. You book for the territory. You book for the market. And that's something that we haven't seen enough of, if you ask me. Grabber Runs pointed out that Vanderlei Silva will be 49 years old and without a win in 11 years by the time he fights in the GFL. There were similar comments to this nature throughout the interview. AZ Ray has fond memories of the IFL back in the day. He actually found MMA through the IFL. And there it is. IFL is how I started watching MMA back in 2006. I loved it. There you go. Robert McAllister wants to know why Mysterious Frank cannot own guns.
It's a fair question.
Super fair. Yeah, I don't have the answer to that.
All right. Mason Bircher wants to tell me that SM64, Sunshine, and Galaxy are all on the Switch.
Yeah, Ariel.
We have a Switch.
You should get these games.
But we don't play it anymore because we got the PS5.
Galaxy, I've never beaten. Would love to play that.
Does your daughter get to play any games?
She's not so into it. They let her play sometimes. There's another game. God, I can't believe I'm going to forget this. There's a game with like a guy. He's like a round-shaped guy.
Call of Duty?
No. Actually, they've asked me about that one, and I've held out. No, it's
Resident Evil.
Fall Guys. Fall Guys.
Yeah.
She gets into that a little bit. But I think
Can't
it's
play
just,
on the Switch while the boys are playing on the PlayStation.
she's more just trying to like keep up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
She'd rather watch The Babysitter's Club. Ryan
Still
said,
on?
"Oh yeah." Everyone talks about Umar getting a title shot based off his last name, yet no one is really talking about how Crone Gracie got a ranked opponent on a pay-per-view coming off 2 losses. I feel like people...
I feel like everybody talked about that.
Yes.
That was literally the only topic of conversation around that fight.
Alessio is wondering why I keep looking off to the side. He thinks it is sus. I mean, I like to just... I'm comfortable, you know? There's nothing there. Can we pan? Well, we don't have a camera. There's literally...
sus.
We don't have a camera.
I mean, like, we have a camera, but we don't have a camera operator. Sorry. There's a whole set here that you guys don't get to see. Should I try to move the camera, or would that...
No,
would you guys
don't
tell me?
touch the
Okay,
cameras,
please. Mason, all this Christmas party hate, I had a grand time at mine. They had an open bar for those of us under 21.
Holiday party.
Allegedly.
Open bar
Wait,
is
what?
great for those of us under 21.
Might have been hitting
Wait,
the
by the way-
early
by the way-
Allegedly wrong,
Allegedly,
too.
yeah.
Very wrong.
It's because he's under
Perfectly
21.
legal over here.
And gave me the
Perfect
transcription of these, and it wasn't even...
He copy and pasted.
Also,
Yeah.
Mason, come on.
no hate over here. I was very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Prior engagement.
So was
be
I.
bothered.
Is the drinking
So
age
was I. All
18
right, so
in
the next
Ireland,
plan
BT?
is already in
18.
place.
Oh,
We're done.
shout
18,
out.
babe.
I found out
Shout
there's
out.
not going to be an ice sculpture, so I was like,
People start drinking when they're like...
Pizza, you got the guest room ready for me yet?
No.
you showed me.
No, man. I started looking at flights, dude.
Pizza,
Come on, man.
no, you
You're
showed
gonna
me
be
the
pissed when I
room.
show up at the door.
You showed me the. You
No,
called it the
Pizza will be
shit room,
pissed,
right?
but
Frank
not
is
the
seen
piss
in
you're talking about.
the shit rooms in my
He's
house.
like, here's the
with
shit
this-
room. This is where Connor will be staying.
All right, I'm just getting a fucking hotel.
No, stay at Pizzi's.
Nah, I'm getting a hotel.
And
He's gonna curl up in a ball. He's in a box.
When are you
of
going
fucking-
over there?
I'm staying at the Black Forge Inn.
When are you going over there?
Oh,
Whenever. I
Oh,
mean,
just in general.
Yeah.
No, because I
I go
know
for the
I know
wedding.
Jordan's going to Florida this weekend for a quick John, so I wanted to get up to speed on everyone's.
My mother-in-law is
vacation
actually
plans.
celebrating her birthday in Ireland. That's
Oh, okay, perfect.
From the number
Really?
one plan breaker, Ariel Helwani, we're doing
Wow.
Jordan over here.
Yesterday we were walking on. They're like, okay, we'll see you later. We're going for burgers. I was like, oh, okay. Let me see the text about the
Then
burgers.
we get to the burger spot, and I say, Ariel, you coming in? You
That's
say,
not
nah,
true.
I gotta catch my
Literally,
jet back to.
literally, I said, I will
Back
go
to
on the
where?
walk with you guys.
Yeah.
And then I'll go home.
And
Did
then
I change that
and then
plan?
I'll hop in the PJ, and we're out of here. We're
Yeah.
gone.
You didn't
But
change
Ariel's
the
so
plan,
weird
but
that
you were
he gets
invited
so
to go.
upset.
I was not. I was.
he doesn't want to go to
guilt.
anything.
He
though.
doesn't
Like,
want
he
to go
wants
to
to get
anything.
invited.
The problem.
It actually hurts because there's nothing I enjoy. I was just telling
But
my
you
wife
never
this.
wanna go.
I
You
enjoy the
never wanna go.
camaraderie. I enjoy the
Were you thinking
friendship.
about
Ariel,
when
we
you
have
were
a
having your
holiday
sushi
party later
last
today.
week?
I
You want to come?
enjoy the fraternity.
Were you
No,
like,
Katie
oh, where are
Couric
the
hit me
boys?
up to go to the Knicks
Wants to be
game.
asked.
What time
Wants
does the
to be
holiday
asked,
party
and he
start, by
doesn't
the
wanna
way?
go.
6:30.
Damn it,
When you were getting your
It's in
massage
your email,
last week, were
if
you
you-
like,
if you care
oh, I
to
really
look.
wish I brought the boys?
Newman. Nihal. He became a knows-it-all. Congratulations. Thank you to Tyler and Abdi Youssef, who are now Helwanabis as well. We appreciate you guys. And shout out to the boys in the back for their special members-only live chat last Thursday, which I very much enjoyed. You guys spent like a whole hour.
That was a great time.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was great. Well done. So more of that to come. Achilles. Did I get that right?
Nailed
Yeah, you know yourself. Achilles Jr. said the Wizard of Oz is trash like Rick's takes.
No, I read that as-
Achilles Jr. has a long-standing feud with me, and
Preach that.
He thinks Jurassic Park is the GOAT.
yeah, well, you
Okay.
see, clearly he's not a man of taste. So
Yeah.
obviously,
We went from
we
Wizard of
can't
Oz to
disregard-
Jurassic
Yeah,
Park.
That's not going to stop the beef. That's only going to
Does
Does that
intensify.
emoji actually mean trash? It's just an empty
It's a bin.
waste bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we could
Bin.
use a
Get it in the
bin
bin.
back here.
Listen, don't you guys say that? Like those Pete, you guys say that in the bin?
In the
Yeah,
bin.
Yeah, see?
Bin it.
Bin men. They say. I always love when they're like, "Oh, he's boxing a bin. He's boxing
Yeah.
a bin man. He's
Or,
boxing
or when you guys talk about like a manager getting fired, you don't say fired, you say sacked.
sacked."
Yeah.
It feels
Or
so.
you got binned. You can say you got binned as well.
By the way, sacked feels so disrespectful.
That's meant to be.
Fired
You should be
feels
ashamed
more
of yourself.
I feel like people say sacked in the States, too.
No, I
You're
thought they
fired.
say redundancies, right? Oh, there's some redundancies. That one.
Not when talking
That's
about
like
like a football
corporate
coach.
Not in a
Yeah.
headline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
are you
that's-
talking about?
Manager made redundant.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah, Rex Ryan
He's
has been made
redundant with the new
redundant
manager
by the
that
Jets.
is coming in.
What? Untitled said he liked my rant at the start of the show. Okay, so there's one guy. He said, "Good shit, Ariel. Shields is he, and you misspelled Jake's name. That's not how you spell his name. So everyone's getting everything.
Might be
wrong.
on purpose. Might be
Is
on
helping
purpose.
create a scary world to live in right now. Such a mental ceiling he can't see his own ignorance. I mean, I have not gone on his feed in quite some time. There was a point where he was just content farming bjpen.com links, and I guess he's now moved on to this stuff. And I was blown away. I was blown away by the madness on there. Travel over there at your own risk. But apparently there's people who are into this sort of thing. And I was just like, what in the world is happening here? Is this the same guy? This is the same dude who fought GSP at UFC 129? Crazy. In any event, Angel, thoughts on Ilya saying he'll retire by age 30? Who told us earlier this week that they were going to retire? Chase Hooper. Yeah, we were talking about that. Good call. Don't believe it. And also, not because I'm calling him a liar, but I just think a lot of fighters say that and then they get to 30 and they're like, golly, I feel great. And I also don't think...
Ilya just says a lot of shit, huh? Just like, just says stuff.
Maybe things get lost in translation. I also don't think, by the way, that he's done at 45.
Wait, what? Oh, done it for 145
No, he's not
pounds.
done at 45. He's
Oh,
not.
sorry,
saying
not 45
45
years.
years
No,
old.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, no, see, that's what I'm saying. He just says a lot of stuff. It's not really...
He fights in Miami. We going?
When is that? The April card or whatever?
Yeah.
If Pants is on it.
Pants.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to make my way down.
Oh. Sorry, that was a message from my good friend Evans. Ilya, I say he fights Volk, and then honestly, there's more fights. There's Diego. There's Movsar. There's guys
There are
out there.
way too many fights at 45 to be thinking about 55 right now.
So I don't think will be done. Someone who did announce that he is done earlier today is the great Jack Tank Shore. Seemingly out of nowhere, my old darts rival has called it a career, and we do want to congratulate him on a great run. The pride of Wales. He wrote, "Hello, guys. Been quiet for a while, enjoying time with my friends and family. As what may come as a surprise to a few, I've decided to hang up the gloves on my professional fighting career. After fighting out my contract and taking some time to think about what's next, it's clear to me that my time with professional fighting is done. Although I had the chance to re-sign with the UFC, I've decided my time's done. I want to thank the UFC for letting me live out my childhood dream of fighting for the world's biggest organization against some of the best in the world. I've enjoyed every minute." I won't read the whole thing, but I will say that his father, the great Shaky Shore, also announced that Jack will be joining his team as far as a coach. It's been a crazy journey, he wrote, but my son has decided to retire on his own terms. I could not be prouder of him as a man and an athlete. He will join me full time with coaching the next generation of talent. Enjoy, Jack Shore, MMA. PT, you know the Shores very well. Were you surprised to hear this announcement?
Completely shocked. Couldn't believe it. And it's been an absolute pleasure covering these guys. You know them, Ariel. They are two great lads, very talented people. Obviously, Richard has respect all over Europe for his incredible mind when it comes to fighting. And Jack, what Jack's done is incredible. You know, this was a blue chip prospect out of the UK and Ireland, a guy who won the IMAF championships as a teenager, went into Cage Warriors, took over Nathaniel Wood's mantle at that bantamweight division, and Nathaniel Wood being this great ticket seller in London. So he was a very important piece of the jigsaw there. Jack Shore then brings it to Cardiff, essentially. Like, I went to see him fight in 2018 against Mike Ekendeo there, and it was just incredible. And the adoration that people already had for him at that stage was, you know, was apparent. And, you know, you see it grow over the years. I think my favorite performances of Jack would have been in 2022 against Timur Valiev. Everyone was saying this is too much. Valiev was a guy who was thought to be constantly overlooked by the UFC. He was going to come in and have an impact on the bantamweight division. Like, these Dagestani guys like the likes of Habib would. Jack was absolutely poetry in motion that night. Jabbed the face off him, mixed up his takedowns very well. He's done great things in the sport, as I said, champion in Cage Warriors. He was right. He was right in the rankings there at bantamweight. Obviously, featherweight didn't go his way, but for him and Richard, I think the biggest thing for them is the impact they've had on that area of the world, on Wales. Like the amount of people they've turned onto the sport there. And I can't think of a better legacy for any athlete. Like seeing Jack Shore and knowing who Jack Shore was has made thousands of kids in that area pursue mixed martial arts, and a great lad. And I'm sure he'll be a great success alongside Richard in the coaching world.
Wow, beautifully put. Absolutely beautiful. There's not much more that I can add that would be better than that. I will just echo what you said. Absolute pleasure to watch them compete. Absolute pleasure to cover both of them. It was great to meet Shaky when he was here with Oban Elliott. They're building a great thing over in that corner of the world, specifically Wales. Class act. And there was that run. Remember, we were all fired up that he was on that Long Island card when they had the London card the next week.
That's right.
He was on a great run. And a lot to be proud of. And just 29 years young. He's turning 30 in February. So, who knows? But it sounds like he is at peace. It sounds like he is content. And it sounds like he's going to help his father, which is a beautiful thing as well. So everyone is very lucky that he is still sticking around with mixed martial arts. He flew the great Welsh flag very, very proudly. And really, I would say, was one of the very first to put Welsh MMA on the map. And the great affinity that I have for the Welsh PT, what with Brennan Johnson and Steve Cooper and the Shores and Oban Elliott, the Welsh gangster. So,
and your visits, of course, to Wales.
Oh, of course, Cardiff back in 22. What a time that was.
Forget?
Who could forget? Yes, Clash at the Castle. It was a great time. I've been there, yes?
Oh, but you've never stopped talking to me about it.
Okay, I just didn't know if you were being facetious. It's a great thing, and congrats to him and his father and the whole team and family on an amazing run. And I was
just one more thing.
As well. Go ahead.
Talking about Vandalay area, it's a credit to Jack walking away on his own terms. It's so rare in this game. That's why Ariel's laughing when you're putting up things about Topuria says he's going to be out by 30. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Lads don't know when to walk away. Their heart isn't in it sometimes, and they're still fighting, and that's when things go wrong. Jack, he's walking away. He's called it a day. He had a contract in front of him from the UFC, and he's decided he's had enough. I think that's very commendable too.
Absolutely. 100%. Shout out to Demetrius Johnson. He sent me a photo yesterday of him at the UFC PI, and he's like, "Hey, I'm negotiating." And I was like, "What?" And then 2 seconds later, he's like, "No, I'm here to train with Khabib in Islam." So he's there. He's there. What a link up that is. Golly, who would have thought? Look at that shot right there. That's crazy. That is legendary status. Incredible. I love this version of Demetrius Johnson. I really do. Do you know? And I hope that this comparison makes sense. Do you remember when Kobe Bryant retired and he seemed completely at peace in life and just happy to be around basketball with his family and just seemed completely content? Like there was no talks of him coming back, and it was just like, and that was obviously the, among the many reasons why it was so difficult to process what happened to him and the others who passed away. And I feel like DJ's in this spot in his life where he's just so completely happy and content. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just in such a great place. He's happy to help people. He's happy to train. He's happy to stay active. He's happy to find this new passion in jiu-jitsu. He's happy to do the YouTube. He's happy to interview. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. And I think we all kind of strive for that and hope for that for people in our lives. So shout out to DJ, the man. On a less positive note, wanted to mention the somewhat breaking news that Nathan Diaz has been hit with a misdemeanor battery charge. 39 years young, Nathan Diaz. I'm reading this off of a report from Drake Riggs over on uncrowned.com. He was involved in an alleged incident at the Las Vegas Omnia nightclub at Caesars Palace on August 24th. The misdemeanor battery charge was reportedly dealt on October 16th. TMZ first reported the news. Diaz and his team have yet to comment on the situation. I saw the footage of this. It seemed rather... Did you guys see this video?
Yeah.
It just seemed like a little bit of,
benign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I would have seen that
face
video, it would have been
palm,
like,
that was
oh,
the
there
worst
was a
thing that
little, like
Dust up, a little scuffle.
scuffle is almost even
Yeah.
like unless there's something we didn't see. I was like, this is what it is. I don't know.
Those fighting words.
I guess there were some words. I was a little bit surprised, but who knows? Anyway, that's a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully it gets sorted and dealt with in a timely manner. But I got to all the things. Let me see. Did I? Oh, here's another one. Oh, shout out to Andres Velasquez, now a Helwani as well. All right, so I got to all the super chats. I think I covered it all, guys. Did I not? Was there anything else? Sometimes you have a surprise or two.
Oh, man, fantastic job.
Yeah, thanks.
So we'll see you at the holiday party.
What's that?
You really
The
going to the
holiday
next
party.
game? Be honest.
Let me see.
No, you said invite me. I'm always there. There's nothing I love more than the camaraderie. Like we'll see you there.
Sure.
See you later. at the party.
camaraderie.
Such a nice night.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
All right.
Hey, can I shout out Dostbrack for this shirt?
Oh,
New Aspinall
please.
shirt. How
What a
great is
legend.
this? We got the Aspinall coin on the front, Aspinall, and then look at the back of this thing. Oh yeah.
Nice.
More than hype. There he is.
Gladiator. Got to go see Gladiator 2 off the recommendation of Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee, movie of the year.
I have a Dostbrack painting, print, drawing.
I got my 2025 calendar.
Wow,
too.
I didn't realize you were.
I'm Dostbrack's biggest supporter out here.
Shout out to Dostbrack, the
Thanks
man.
for all of this too. He's not saying man.
Did you get the toothpicks?
I'm just a big supporter. Yeah, I got the Tommy toothpicks in too.
Oh, can't wait to try
We're
those.
gonna all have to have a review live on the air. Berry Blast or whatever they are.
Well, I love Dostbrack. He's tremendous. His drawings are amazing.
style.
I have one of Mike Tyson and Diego Maradona together that he whipped up a couple of years ago, and another one of the whole BMF scene where it was Masvidal and Diaz and The Rock and the taxi cab and all that. Just an absolute legend. Still never seen his face. Have you seen his face, Pete?
Yeah, I have. I've met the man. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, he rocks.
He's Irish.
I know. That's why I
Wow,
asked.
I like him even more.
That's why I asked.
Brother, one
I
of
met
our
him
own.
in a
PC.
hotel suite.
One of our own.
I met him in a hotel suite with Artem Lobov
Wow.
Him and Artem Lobov. Wow.
in Las Vegas, of course.
Oh, wow. You met an
The
Irish
week that
When I
Conor
come
McGregor fought Donald Cerrone.
When I come to Dublin and stay at your place, we'll link up with little Dostbrack. I mean, great
Absolutely.
calendar. Great calendar.
Even the Russian Hammer as well. I could organize that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, last one. Let's end on a positive note here. Hey, Ariel and crew, this is back on the Substack. I will be traveling to New York City during the holidays all the way from little old New Zealand, one of my places on the list. What's the top two, guys? Anyone
New
listen?
Zealand,
Samoa.
There it is.
Portland, and then Austin.
Yes. I was wondering if you had any food recommendations for my partner and I while we are here or there. We will be staying next to the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn for 8 nights, plus our final night in Times Square. Congratulations on everything you have all achieved
Hamburger
this year. Can I finish?
Sorry.
Jeez. This year, and bring on an even bigger 2025. Cheers, Liam. All right, what do we got, Frank? You're the
Burger
foodie?
America.
Burger America. That's the
Burger
spot
America.
yesterday, right?
Yeah, the one that
we didn't go to.
we invited you to.
You didn't go either.
We.
Yeah.
Frank.
Who the F is we?
Who the fuck is
Thank
we?
you.
Yeah, that's right.
Go try Cats. We went there.
Cats is cool.
Cats
Go to
is-
Farida. Go to Farida.
That's the one.
Farida.
That's
Go
the
to Farida
one.
and try
Go to
Cats.
Farida.
Two Boots, I hear is
Go to
popping.
No, enough.
Lafayette, if you're
Farida.
staying near Brooklyn Bridge, like you just said. Lafayette is
Grace
one of my
Papaya.
favorites. Grace Papaya.
These are awful suggestions.
Tavern.
No,
Farida
Lafayette
Lucas
is
is
actually
great.
incredible. So
Tavern
is
on the
Cats.
Green.
Tavern on the Green, if you want
Tavern
a
on the
nice
Green is
tourist
fun.
trap, amazing.
Where's the place you brought me, lads? The Dead Rabbit? That was nice.
Oh, Dead
Oh, that
Rabbit is
place is sick.
fantastic.
The Bowery Meat Company. That place is amazing.
But Peter Luger's now, is that
Peter
old
Luger's is
hat?
classic. That's in Brooklyn. That's
Yeah.
in Williamsburg. Here's the thing. I don't know what Liam's palate is.
But now you've had your sushi.
He's in some form today, oh man. You know that? Yeah, in some form.
I just say, if you want a nice omakase, I got a spot. It's called Sushi Sasabune. It's on 73rd and 1st. GC could back me up. One of the all-time great meals. Is it not?
Second mortgage.
How much the plate?
It
Do
is
you need 800 quid for a
No,
plate?
it's not
Or-
800
Not
quid.
800
It's actually a
like
steal.
220 or
Do
something.
they know
Nah.
about your side dishes
Yeah.
now? Are they gonna?
It's not cheap.
150. 150.
I'm not sure if that's true.
Bro, 150 to. It depends on if you're getting
Who
any
hasn't
kind of
been there
drinks.
since 2021 either.
It's a phenomenal meal. Is it coming in Las Vegas?
See, you can't keep saying this. You're going to go to Sasabune and they're going to take your picture down from the wall.
I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But I will say it's a phenomenal meal. It's a phenomenal time. If you want to splurge, you and the partner want to splurge, and you want to get the best sushi in New York, hands down, there's no question about it. I highly recommend it. You want to get some nice bagels? I highly recommend Black Seed Bagels. Shout out to my boys.
Wegmans.
Here's my New York tip. As an actual
Upper
New
East
Yorker.
Side sleeper.
Okay.
The only actual New Yorker on this show. So let me give it.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, Jordan. Sorry, Jordan.
That's
sorry, Jordan.
crazy.
Man lives in
That is
Jordan
nasty
counts.
work
Jordan counts.
right there.
Yeah, you know
That
what?
is
He grew up
nasty.
on Long Island. He doesn't
in
count.
Long Island.
Oh
He grew up on Long Island. He
That
doesn't
is
count.
nasty work right there.
Here's the
Queens
tip.
is in Long Island.
You don't spend so much time traveling to these individual little places
Agreed.
that everybody has recommended. Stay local. Find some good spots. You can get a good slice on the corner. You can get good this wherever. Look around what's around you. Spend more time exploring the city. Spend more time walking around. Spend more time seeing the sights. And don't focus so much on, I have to go 7 miles out of my way to go get this XYZ thing. There's tons of great stuff all around you. Spend more time exploring the city.
But if you get the
fantastic.
veggie crunch sandwich from Wegmans,
Yeah, Frankie,
put
put him on. Put him on, Frankie. Yeah, don't just get pizza. Pizza's fine.
Yeah, get a
Unless you're at
slice
Two
and then go do
Boots, then
something
There's a
you're
else.
at,
slice on
like,
every
5
corner.
stars.
There's like 3 pizza shops here.
It's
Yeah, what?
fantastic advice. But I will say, go out of your way to get the banana pudding at Magnolia Bakery. It's to die
Another
for.
great one. That's it. You want to go
Lafayette,
tourist?
with
a- Can I
Banana
recommend
pudding at
something as a
Magnolia
tourist?
Bakery, Tavern on the Green, Peter Luger's, Katz's Delicatessen. Those are like the touristy spots that are actually great.
Great papaya.
I don't know about
Yeah.
Pizza,
Try-
what were you gonna say?
Try and go to as many places around New York as you can, because loads of people, like especially Irish people, they go and they just stay in Manhattan. They're like around Times Square for like.
Go to
fucking
Nathan's
5
Hot Dogs
days.
down in Coney Island.
Isn't it
Nah,
You
that's
really
so
want to
far.
see New York?
That's
Hop on the
far.
Q train and take that bitch
No.
all the way down.
He's
to
messing
Coney
around.
Island.
Do not go.
Stop
down
by
that
Avenue
far.
M and go to
No.
DeForest Pizza for an
Okay,
authentic slice.
Wait, Harrison, New
Dinosaur
Jersey,
Shout out to
beautiful place.
Midwood.
DeForest is pretty good, but no, don't go all the way to Coney Island. You'll find some, but that's a good point by Pizzi. Like, don't just stay in time. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
tourist areas are
Don't
not
go
where
to
you
Times
go.
Awful.
Square. Fuck
Go down.
Times Square.
Go down.
You gotta go. You
But
You gotta
everyone
go
does,
see it once.
everyone
It's a
does.
bunch of video boards.
No, man, you gotta
Oh,
go.
it's the
Don't be that
worst.
guy. You gotta
You gotta
go.
go.
the worst
You
place.
do not have to
You
go.
have to
There's
go?
nothing
1,000%.
there.
You have to go just so you'll be like, wow, I'll never go
Take the
back there
picture,
again.
you know.
PT,
Take the
as a
picture.
foreigner,
So
you
get
have to go to
assaulted
Times
by a guy
Square.
in
You
a
have to
Sonic
get-
the
you have to
Hedgehog
go.
suit. Who wants to go
Mickey
there?
But don't spend too long there. Don't spend too
Dirty
long.
ass Mickey
Go to
Mouse.
Queens.
Straight through it.
Okay,
That's
everyone's
what-
talking at the same time now. What's going? PT, go ahead.
Yeah, like go and get the picture of all the screens or whatever. But no one's. Like, go to Central Park, go to Brooklyn, go to Queens, go as many different places you can. But as a tourist, like, you're struck by how different every single part of it is. You know, every time you go to these different boroughs, I think it's amazing how different they all are. The Bronx, go to as many places as you can. It's great.
Peach brother, I love this though.
No, it's true. It's true.
I love this.
It's like the song says: Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, and Staten, from the Battery to the top of Manhattan. You guys know that one?
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, you know yourself. All right. On that note, shout out to New York City, the greatest city in the world, and we are so proud to rep this great city, not only here but also there. There it is. Yeah. Boys in the Back on Thursday, Crack on Friday. So much more to come here on the Uncrowned Network. And next week we got some fun things coming as well. And then it's the holiday season. And then we'll disappear. No, I'm just kidding.
Holiday season starts tonight.
Yeah.
Party.
You're probably going to go to dinner like next door just to make a point, right?
Exactly.
That you can't be bothered. No,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
keep asking people to FaceTime me. So I can
I'm
check
convinced
the
that
vibe.
you guys are going to the next game together. That's what I think.
Frankie and I.
I'm gonna get some
GC.
Wegmans on the way there.
All three of us.
This is a conspiracy to
Wow.
draw a line in the sand against the rest of the team.
Can't confirm nor deny. Maybe you'll catch us on the telly this evening if you're watching the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. We shall see. We shall see. We shall also see about the Global Flight League. We appreciate them coming by, setting that up, divulging, discussing, all those things and more. We appreciate them very, very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. I do want to thank everyone who continues to subscribe. Shout out to you. Thumbs up. Hit the bell. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. The drive for 25 is still alive, so thank you very much. And if you're listening to us in pod form, thank you for following, for rating, reviewing, commenting, all that stuff and more. Thank you, Alex Pantoja. Thank you, Darren Owen. Thank you, Anthony Pettis. Thank you, Kevin Lee. Thanks to everyone who sent in super chats, questions as well. Thanks to them. Thanks to you. Back on Thursday, same time as Peace.